chart spot by 2 games. Right now, the Blue Jays and the Red Sox tied for the top spot in the American League East. So a lot on the line today, and, well, it will feel like basically a lot on the line for a long time from now as the Mariners are trying to make a late push as we are getting awfully close to flipping the calendar to September. Iwakuma all warmed up and ready to go, and here to tell you about the first pitch and all the play-by-play, the voice of the Mariners. Here's Rick Riz.
All right, Aaron, thank you very much, and welcome to Safeco Field on a beautiful weekday afternoon out for baseball. Plenty of sunshine and a great crowd. We're expecting about maybe 40,000 fans for the finale of the 3-game series between the Mariners and the Yankees. And today's first pitch of the game brought to you by StockCharts.com. Simply the web's best financial charts. That's StockCharts.com. And yes, indeed, the roof is wide open. Hisashi Iwakuma getting ready to throw this afternoon's first pitch. Brett Gardner will lead things off for New York. Series all squared off at 1 win apiece. Here we go, the windup and the first pitch of the game on the way, and it's high and outside for ball 1, and we are underway. Iwakuma has been so good, so consistent this year. 14 wins against 8 losses and a 3.78 ERA over 25 starts. And 0-1 against the Yankees, trying to even up that slate today. Here's the pitch of the way, swinging a pop-up outside of third. Over to take a look is Sean O'Malley, and this one is going to sail out of play back up into the crowd, and it's 1-1 on Gardner. Yeah, Sean O'Malley getting the start over third base this afternoon. Kyle Seager in last night's ballgame, foul ball off his foot. Had a rough time trying to put some weight on it when he got up this morning, so O'Malley is at third. Gardner batting .257. He has 7 home runs and 29 runs batted in. The windup and the 1-1, swinging a ground ball right side off to his left. Second baseman Robbie Cano scoops it up at the cut of the grass. The throw to first, and it's in time to get Gardner for out number 1. Game time temperature a perfect, and I mean a perfect, 76 degrees. This afternoon's promotion, Mariners Moose Bank Day. Also a lot of foam hats in the form of a chainsaw given away this afternoon as well. Here is shortstop Didi Gregorius. Gregorius batting .283, 17 home runs and 57 runs batted in. Left-handed hitter. Great matchup between Iwakuma and Tanaka today. Here's the pitch on the way. Breaking ball for a strike, and it's 0-1.
Kevin has put in his request to the pen for the steel foam chainsaw hat. I think we all believe that Kevin would wear it best.
I think so. He looked sharp in that.
Or right over the earphones.
I think it's going to replace the foam finger, don't you think? Here's the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss at a splitter, and the count is 0-2 on Gregorius.
Why not?
So folks wearing their foam chainsaws. It's fun promotion. Here's the 0-2 on the way, and it's high with a fastball for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Gregorius.
Would it be awkward to actually use a chainsaw while wearing the foam chainsaw hat?
Kind of dangerous. Probably. Infield is turned around to the right side. Not an official shift for Didi. The windup and the 1-2 pitch, swinging a ground ball right side. Cano is right this time, scoops it up, throws the first, got him, and there's 2 outs. So Robbie Cano with 2 infield assists early in this ball game. And that'll bring up catcher Gary Sanchez. Man, this kid has made quite an impression since coming up from Scranton Wilkes-Barre. He is hitting .377 in the big leagues already with 8 home runs and 15 runs batted in. And just this past week, it was the American League Player of the Week when he hit .524 with 4 home runs, 6 runs batted in. Opening game of the series a couple of nights ago, he had 2 home runs. Big, strong right-handed hitter. Here's the windup. And the pitch to Sanchez. Swing and a fly ball deep left field. Norioki looking up, and this one is into the upper deck and out of the upper deck down to the warning track. Gary Sanchez with his 9th home run of the season. His 3rd of the series, jumping on Hisashi Iwakuma's first pitch. It landed into the upper deck straight away left field. And just like that, the Yankees have a 1-0 lead. Mr. Sanchez, you are something early in your career. Long home run. Pitch right down the middle, center cut, and Sanchez didn't miss it. Man, here is designated hitter Mark Teixeira, batting 196. He has 10 home runs, 28 RBIs. The windup and the pitch. Off speed is outside for ball one.
Rick, as we learned about half an hour ago, Gary is scary.
Yes. John Sterling, loved your interview with John prior to the ball game. You and Gary Hill. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's outside for ball two. And John has all these different sayings for each hitter when they hit a home run. He goes, Gary is scary, and he is to every American League pitcher right now. 1-0 Yankees, 2 outs, top of the first inning. The windup by Iwakuma, the 2-0 pitch, swung on, fouled out of play in the third base side by Teixeira. And the count is now 2-1. Mark Teixeira in an emotional announcement not that long ago saying that this will be his final year in the big leagues. What a career it's been for Teixeira. Switch hitting DH right now. Here's the pitch of the way, swinging a broken bat, ground ball up the middle to his right is Cano. He's got it. The throw to first in time to get Teixeira to end the inning. The barrel of the bat flew by the left of the pitcher, Sashi Wakuma, as the ball went out to Robbie Cano.
I'll be there for photos, autographs, prizes, and more. Come see our huge selection of four-wheel drive lifting and diesel trucks this Saturday. That's Northwest Motorsport in Everett.
Seattle Mariners baseball
on 710 ESPN Seattle.
Well, we go to the bottom of the first inning right away. The Yankees lead 1-0 on the long home run by young catcher Gary Sanchez into the upper deck in left field. Veteran right-hander Masahiro Tanaka making his 26th start of the year. The windup of the pitch to Nori Aoki on the way, and it's a strike called 0-1. Tanaka from Itami, Japan. 10-4 record with a 3.24 ERA. Fastball, splitter, and a slider for Tanaka. Here's the pitch, and that splitter is down low for ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tanaka 1-0 against the Mariners this year, back on April the 17th, early in the year. Won 4-3 in the Bronx, won 7 innings. The windup and the next pitch, swinging a ground ball to the first baseman, Tyler Austin. He gathers it in, goes to the bag for the out on Nori, and there's 1 out for the Mariners here in the bottom of the first. Coaching down at third base, Manny Acta. Coaching at first base is Casey Candell on this Wednesday afternoon. The Mariners wearing their home whites, Yankees their road grays. But Tanaka, man, he's been tough against the Mariners over the last couple of seasons. 4 career starts against Seattle. He is undefeated, 4-0 with a 2.40 ERA. 30 innings pitched. He struck out 33. Here's right fielder Seth Smith. Yankees have the shift on for him. The windup and the pitch. Breaking ball for a strike. And it's 0-1. Even with the loss last night, and CC Sabathia was very tough against Seattle last night, 7 strong innings. Mariners are 15-7 for the month of August. The windup and the 0-1 to Smith. Inside for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Mariners in April, they were 13-10, had a real good May, 17-11, their most wins in any one month this year. June had their problems, 10-18. Felix was on the DL, so was Marte and Martin. Here's the pitch, check swing, and it's a strike on Smith, 1-2. They played 500 ball in July, 12-12, but in August, 15-7. Now with 2 strikes on Smith, the third baseman, Ronald Torreyes, who's on the other side of second base. Didi Gregorius, the shortstop, is playing shortstop. The look in, the windup, and the 1-2 to Seth. Swing and a line drive right to Torreyes. The shortstop on the other side of the bag, liner right at him for the second out of the inning, makes the catch. So 2 up and 2 down, and here is second baseman Robinson Cano. Robbie started his first 9 years in the big leagues with the Yankees. Cano this year batting .295, 28 home runs, and 79 runs batted in. His next double will tie a major league record. Right now he has 29 doubles. When he gets to number 30, he'll become one of only 4 players in major league history to have 30 more doubles in 12 consecutive seasons. The windup and the pitch to Robbie, and it's outside for ball 1. The other guys, Stan Musial, Tris Speaker, and Hannes Wagner. Cano steps back in. On deck is Nelson Cruz. The windup and the 1-0 pitch to Robbie. Strike called, and it's 1-1. Cano last night 2 for 4, 5 for 8 in the series. Tanaka looks in. And now time is called. Cano backs away from home plate. Final game of the series, final meeting of the year between these two ball clubs. Here's the windup and the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a line drive into the gap in right center field. Cano will make the turn. He's heading for second. The throw to second, and it is in time to get Cano. Up with the ball, Aaron Judge. Got to it into the gap. The throw into the shortstop, Gregorius, down with a tag. Cano is out at second. Our Red Hook score. The Yankees 1, Mariners 0. Top of the second. Starlin Castro will lead off the inning. Here's the pitch from Iwakuma. A strike on the outside corner. And it's 0-1. Castro batting .262, 17 home runs, and 56 runs batted in. The windup and the pitch. Swing and a miss at a good splitter, and the count is 0-2. Sashi Iwakuma, third in the American League and wins with 14. His last outing, pitched well, but took a 6-4 loss down in Anaheim against the Angels. Struggled in the first inning, gave up a couple of runs and settled in. Here's the pitch and a swing and a miss and a breaking ball for strike 3. Iwakuma's first strikeout of the afternoon, and he strikes out Starlin Castro, 1 down. Say, friends, cap off your Labor Day weekend and take in a Mariners game at a special 1:10 start time on Monday, September the 5th, against the Texas Rangers. That'll be a big series. What's more, fans can pick up select view level seats for one low price thanks to BECU. Tickets at Mariners.com. Here's right fielder Aaron Judge finding out about these young Yankee players. Here's the pitch, a breaking ball, strike to Judge on the inside corner, 0-1. Robbie Cano was looking for that 30th double of the year. Lined one into the gap in right center field. Judge went to go cut it off into the gap, and he threw out Cano at second. Next pitch, another breaking ball, low and outside for ball 1-1-1. Judge's throw was right on the money, right on the bag to get Robbie. Judge hitting .250. The windup and the pitch from Iwakuma. Swing and a foul tip into the glove of the catcher Chris Iannetta this afternoon, and the count is 1-2. Aaron Judge on August the 13th in his first major league at bat hit a home run against Tampa Bay, and so did Tyler Austin right behind him. Here's the pitch, the 1-2, and it's low and outside. Ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. So what a thrill for those two kids. First major league at bats, a home run, and they go back to back. Iwakuma looks in, gets the sign from Iannetta. Here's the windup and the 2-2. Swing and a pop-up out of play down the right field side, and the count is still even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Iwakuma for his career looking to even things up. He's 2-3 against the Yankees in 6 starts, a 3.65 ERA. But man, he has been so steady throughout the year, 35 years of age. Here's the windup and the 2-2, up and in, and that hits Judge in the back. Right above that number 99 he wears. So Aaron Judge hit by a pitch, and Judge is on at first base. 1 on, 1 out. Let's pause for station identification time. This is the Alaska Airlines Mariners Radio Network.
The Mariners are starting Hisashi Iwakuma, and they've got Misfit Radio waiting in the bullpen. Hey, it's Danny O'Neill from Danny, Dave, and more. And after the Mariners get finished with the Yankees, we're going to come on and clean everything up. That starts today after the game, 710 ESPN, KIRO, AM Seattle.
1 on, 1 out for the Yankees. They lead it 1-0 here in the top of inning number 2. Here's center fielder Aaron Hicks. The stretch and the pitch. Breaking ball, strike on the inside corner, 0-1. So what a matchup. Hisashi Iwakuma against Masahiro Tanaka, 2 of Japan's finest, facing off this afternoon here at Safeco Field. I think the ratings are pretty high for this one over in Tokyo. You better believe it. Both these guys with so much success. Iwakuma's been around now for a while. Here's the stretch and the 0-1 pitch. Fastball is outside for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. Sashi signing with the Mariners as a free agent on January the 5th of 2012. Iwakuma looking for a ground ball to get out of the inning. Hicks, a tough man, though, to try to double up. Judge will lead at first, held on there by Adam Lind, and now a soft toss to first by Iwakuma to get Judge back to the bag. Nice crowd this afternoon for the wrap-up game of the series. And right after the ball game, it's on to Chicago, 4 with the White Sox, and 3 down in Texas. That'll be a huge series. The set. And the 1-1 pitch, low and inside for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Looking at the standings, the Mariners second place in the West, 5.5 out behind the Rangers, but in the wild card race, they're 2 back of the Baltimore Orioles. Boston and Toronto are fighting it out for the top spot in the East. Here's the set by Iwakuma, and the 2-1 pitch, swinging a line drive, base into the right field. Judge will get to second. Up with the ball is Smith. The throw in will be cut off by Robbie Cano. Aaron Hicks with a base hit. And the Yankees have runners now on at first and second with 1 out. Here is first baseman Tyler Austin. Austin batting just 130 with that home run in his first major league at bat and 1 RBI. Scratches a toe hole on the right side of the batter's box. Now steps in to face Iwakuma. Hisashi Iwakuma with the 8-game winning streak here at home. Last 2 starts were on the road, Anaheim and Oakland. Here's the stretch and the pitch. Strike called on the outside corner. The count 0-2. 3 outings ago, he helped shut out the Tigers right here at Safeco Field, 3-0. The last time Iwakuma lost a game here at home at Safeco Field, you got to go way back to April the 27th when he lost to the Astros 7-4. Iwakuma got off to a slow start this year. He was 1-4 and had a high ERA. Since then, he's been one of the best in this league. The stretch and the 0-1 pitch, swinging a pop-up out of play on the first base side, and it's 0-2. Since May the 3rd, to give you an idea what kind of role Iwakuma has been on, since May the 3rd, Hisashi has gone 14-5 with a 3.57 ERA, and the 14 wins ties for first in the major leagues from that time on. But he is so good at making adjustments in game, making adjustments start to start and throughout the year. Runners get their leads. Judge and Hicks second and first. The pitch, swing and a foul straight back by Austin, and the count is still 0-2. Iwakuma with a new baseball from home plate umpire Doug Eddings calling balls and strikes. Laz Diaz the umpire at first base. Corey Blazer at second. Jeff Nelson, the crew chief, is the arbiter at third. 1 out, 2 on. 1-0 New York on that long home run by Gary Sanchez into the upper deck, in and out of the upper deck in left field in the first. Iwakuma looked back and a throw back to second base, and diving back just in time safely was Aaron Judge. Great move by Iwakuma. Put that throw right on the bag to Robbie Cano covering second on the play, and they almost got him. So that'll shorten up Judge's lead a little bit. We're looking at the replay from the center field camera and our monitors up here in the radio booth, and Judge was able to get that hand on the back corner of the bag just before Cano applied the tag.
Yeah, that 7-foot wingspan really helped him out at that point.
It did. And he's a big kid. First and second, 1 out. Iwakuma looking for that double play ball to get out of the inning. The stretch and the pitch to Austin is inside. Ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. During the stretch where he's 8-0 here at home, Iwakuma has a 2.62 ERA, 55 innings, giving up only 16 earned runs over those last 8 starts here at Safeco Field. He passed Felix Hernandez as the only pitchers in Mariners history to record wins in 8 consecutive home starts. Runners their leads, and the 1-2 pitch. Austin with a swing and a foul. Back it out of play, and the count is still 1-2. And again, Iwakuma with a new baseball for Mr. Doug Eddings, calling balls and strikes. What a day out for baseball. Great crowd, beautiful day out, not a cloud in the sky. Game time temperature 76 degrees. Coaching down at third base, Joe Espada for the Yankees. Tony Pena is at first. Iwakuma trying to take care of Tyler Austin. Runners their leads. And again, the 1-2 pitch, swinging a ground ball wide of third and into left field for a base hit. Judge rounding third, heading home. Up with the ball, Norioki. The throw to Chris Iannetta, down with a tag, not in time. Judge slides across safely. He scores, and the Yankees have a 2-0 lead here in the top half of the second. Good throw by Norioki right on line to Chris Iannetta. Charging that ball in left field. And it gets to Iannetta on the fly, but the tag was just a little bit late. So give Austin a base hit to left field and a run batted in. Hicks will get the second. Still only one out, 2-0 New York. And here is Ronald Torreyes, the third baseman for the Yankees. Torreyes batting .278. 1 home run and 8 runs batted in. Well, Iwakuma got the ground ball he wanted, except they found that hole on the left side of the infield stretch, and the pitch Torreyes takes high and outside for ball 1. Torreyes got the start last night. He had 3 hits. He was 3 for 4 with a run batted in. Last night, too much Karsten Charles Sabathia. CC Sabathia was outstanding. Iwakuma look back now at Hicks at second. Here's the pitch in there for a strike on Torreyes as the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Yankees making them work here in the top of the second with 1 out. Castro struck out. Aaron Judge hit by a pitch. Hicks with a single. Austin with a base hit to score Judge. This is a much younger looking Yankee ball club than the one that opened up the year. Here's the set, and the 1-1 pitch to Torreyes. Swing and a foul tip into the glove of Chris Iannetta as the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. The Yankees really wanted to take a look at these kids. They want to make a commitment to the young players. So much so that they were able to say goodbye to Alex Rodriguez with a year plus left on his contract, and they still owe Alex $27 million. Alex is going to stay with the organization as an advisor. Here's the set. And the 1-2 to Torreyes. Here she comes, swinging a fly ball into left center field. Well hit on the run. Norioki still on the run to the warning track, and he makes the catch. Tagging at second is Hicks. He'll go to third. The throw in by Nori, cut off by the shortstop Marte. Ronald Torreyes with a long fly ball out to left center field. Aoki with the grab onto the warning track for the second out of the inning. Aaron Hicks was able to tag and go from second to third. Holding at first base was Tyler Austin. So now runners at the corners for the Yankees. 2 on, 2 outs, a run in. They lead it 2-0. Here's leadoff batter Brett Gardner. Gardner 0 for 1 has grounded out to Robbie Cano at second base. Yankees now at 64 and 61, 4th place in the American League East. At 7 games behind Boston and Toronto. Here's the stretch. And the pitch to Gardner. Low and outside for ball 1. It has been a long inning for Hisashi Iwakuma. Good friends Catherine Parker and Toby Parker here at the ballpark this afternoon, enjoying the sunshine and Mariners baseball. Here's the set by Hisashi. And the 1-0 pitch. Fastball for a strike on the outside corner. The count is even on Gardner at 1 ball and 1 strike. Gardner hitting .257 on the year, but since the early part of June, batting .285. He's a typical leadoff hitter. If he hits the ball on the ground, a chance for a base hit, he can run. A little bit of pop, 7 home runs. Shortstop Marte way to his left toward the bag. The set by Iwakuma delivers, swinging a line drive, right field line. A foul ball as it kicks up into the crowd where the seats angle out toward the line, and it's 1-2 on Gardner. On deck is shortstop Didi Gregorius. 2 runs in for the Yankees, 1 in the first, 1 here in the second. Iwakuma struggled early his last time out down in Anaheim, but then settled down after giving up 2 runs in the first inning, retired 16 of the next Angel hitters that he faced. 2 starts ago, beat the A's in Oakland by a score of 4-3. That was a game where he struggled with a sore neck. Here is the stretch and the 1-2 to Gardner. Runner first takes off, swinging a ground ball to first, taken by Lynn. Underhand flip to Iwakuma at the bag, and it's in time to get the speedy Brett Gardner. Just in time for the out at first, and that will retire the side. But in the top half of the second, Yankees cruise the lead off the second for the Mariners. Masahiro Tanaka ready, fires away, swinging a line drive right center field. Aaron Hicks on the run. He's there and will make the catch. 1 pitch, 1 away. Cruz hit that ball hard. And that's our Red Hook score, 2-0 New York. Here is first baseman Adam Lynn. Lynn batting .230, 18 home runs, and 49 runs batted in. Mariners, when they get to Chicago, will see some left-handers. Ronaldo will get the start in game 1 tomorrow night. Then Chris Sale, one of the best in the business. Then Quintana and Rodon. Here's the windup and the pitch to Lynn. And it's low and inside for ball 1. Dae-Ho Lee down in Tacoma with a home run last night, along with Stephen Romero, as Tacoma won last night. And all the Mariners farm clubs are all doing great. Here's the pitch on the way and a strike called on Lynn, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Every minor league team for the Mariners, they're all in first place. The windup by Tanaka and the 1-1 to Adam. Low bounces in with a splitter ball 2-2-1. Tacoma Rainiers 74-55 lead the PCL Northern Division by 5.5 games over the Reno Aces. The Mariners Double-A team, the Jackson Generals, in first place in the Southern League by 4.5 over the Montgomery Biscuits. One of the great names in baseball. Here's a swing and a line drive into the gap in right center field. Adam Lynn with a base hit. Up with the ball is Aaron Judge. Gets a throw into the second baseman Castro. So Lynn gets aboard, and the Mariners will get the tying run up to home plate. 2-0 New York. Well, time now for this afternoon's Men of Steel report, brought to you by Steel Power Equipment. It was on this date back in 1995. The Mariners trailing California by 11.5 games in the standings, and behind in the game against the Yankees by a run with 2 outs in the 9th inning. The Mariners come back. Vince Coleman steals 2 bases in the inning, scores the tying run on Joey Cora's line drive single off of Tony Fernandez's glove. Here's the pitch to Leonis Martin, a swing and a fly ball deep down the right field line, a fair ball off the top of the wall. Rounding second, heading for third is Lynn. The throw by Judge into second will keep Martin to a long single off the top of the wall down the right field line. And the Mariners now have runners on at first and third with 1 out. Martin jumping on the first pitch. Cruz jumped on the first pitch, lined out to Hicks. And now the Mariners have runners at the corners, first and third, with 1 away. 2-0 New York, and here is third baseman Sean O'Malley. But then in that ball game back in 1995 on this date, Ken Griffey Jr. hit John Wetland's next pitch into the second deck for the most exciting win of that 95 season to date. Mariners came from way back to beat the Angels for the West Division title. Here's Sean O'Malley, the stretch. And the pitch on the way, a swing and a miss, 0-1. This afternoon's Men of Steel report brought to you by Steel Power Equipment, built in America, believing in America, #1 in America, Steel Power Equipment. A lot of folks wearing the steel chainsaw foam hats this afternoon. Tanaka from the set. And the 0-1 to O'Malley. Low and inside with a breaking ball for ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tanaka this year throwing his slider as much as his splitter. And he has a nasty splitter. Teams are hitting just 125 against his splitter. O'Malley batting .252, 2 home runs. Turn and toss over to first base to get Martin back to the bag. Lynn on at third. The tying run. Leonis Martin on at first base. 1 out. Bottom of the second. 2-0 Yankees. Keep our eyes on other scores around the league, especially Baltimore. The Mariners chasing down Baltimore in that wild card division. The stretch. There goes the runner at first. Martin pitch for a ball. The throw down to second, and it's not in time. Leonis Martin with his 16th steal of the year. The throw by Gary Sanchez not in time. Big steal by Martin, and now the Mariners have both runners in scoring position. Adam Lynn on at third, and Martin gets himself into second base.
Now we are seeing that same burst that we saw from Martin early in the season before we went on the disabled list. It's really nice to see.
He is back. He's healthy after that strained hamstring. So now base hit here ties up the ball game. The count goes to 2-1 on O'Malley. Here's the stretch and the Tanaka 2-1. Swing and a foul behind home plate. And the count is even on Sean at 2 balls and 2 strikes. If you haven't heard, Kyle Seager not in the starting lineup today, out with a sore foot. Took a nasty foul ball off his foot in last night's game. On deck is catcher Chris Iannetta. Infield is back. They would give up a run for an out. Shortstop Gregorius in behind the runner there now, Martin. Here's the set by Tanaka. And the 2-2 to O'Malley. Swing and a bounce foul. First base side kicks up into the crowd down the line, and the count is still 2-2. One thing about your ball club, folks, these guys fight back. They keep fighting. Still want to see that sign here at Safeco Field. Ken Griffey Jr. said that during his speech right here back in August the 6th when the Mariners retired his number 24. It's still painted out there in the grass in center field. Keep fighting. Here's the set and the 2-2 to O'Malley, and it's low and inside. Good stop by Sanchez. The catcher, and the count is full on O'Malley at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Sean O'Malley has really turned it on over the last month or so. He's really played well. He can play in the infield, the outfield, but he's also swinging the bat. He had a stretch there where he hit 2 home runs in about 4 games. And one was on Junior's night back on August the 6th against the Angels. The stretch and the 3-2 on the way to O'Malley. Swing and a foul back behind the plate. He took that pitch right out of the glove of the catcher Gary Sanchez, and the count is still 3-2, and he's making Tanaka work. One out, 2 aboard. Nelson Cruz led off the inning, hit a rocket, but it was caught in right center field by Hicks. Then the back-to-back singles by Lynn and Martin, and then the stolen base by Martin. He's at second. Lynn a lead again at third base. The stretch and another 3-2 pitch to Sean O'Malley, and here she comes. Swinging a ground ball, 1-hopper right back to the mound. Tanaka looking at second. They got a runner there, but he throws to first base, and it's in time to get O'Malley. Martin took off for third, and if Tanaka ran at him, they could have had Martin, but Martin is able to get back to second. Lynn stayed at third base. Mariners get a break there because now with 2 outs, they still have the tying run out at second. But Tanaka, after looking around, decided to go to first to get O'Malley for the second out of the inning.
And that is surprising. That ball got to Tanaka so quickly. He was so well balanced when he was able to make that catch on a hop. And quickly looking at third and then to second base. Really surprising that he went to first.
So now 2 on and 2 outs. And here is catcher Chris Iannetta. Some of these guys have been trying to jump on Tanaka's First pitch, 2-0 Yankees. The stretch and the pitch. Swing and a pop-up out of play in the first base side. And it's 0-1 on Iannetta. But if you're Martin, you got to keep your eyes on the runner at third. He is your key, and Martin went way down the line toward third base. A little more than a third of the way toward third. But Tanaka, that long look, and that froze Martin. And then when the throw went to first base, Martin was able to get back to second. Mariners need a hit right here to tie it up the set. And the 0-1 to Iannetta, low and outside with a fastball at 93 for ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike. They made him work, and now they got to cash in with a hit. Got to score some runs against this Yankee ball club. Mariners only 1 run last night off of C.C. Sabathia. Yankees won game 2 by a score of 5-1. Mariners scored 7 a couple of nights ago, a 7-5 win. Here's the stretch. And the 1-1 to Iannetta. Swing and a miss, and a breaking ball down and away for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tanaka had an amazing year. His final year in Japan, that was 3 years ago in 2013. He was undefeated. His last year in Japan, he was 24-0 with a 1.27 ERA in 27 starts. They play about a 140-game season in Japan. But he was undefeated the entire year. Here's the set. And the 1-2 pitch outside for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And a fastball from Tanaka. One of their biggest spectacles is their high school baseball tournament. He was a phenom in high school from 2004 to 2006. As a kid, he started off as a catcher, then became a pitcher his junior year in high school. Here's the stretch. And the 2-2 to Iannetta, low and outside in the dirt. Another good stop by Sanchez, the catcher for the Yankees, and the count is full on Iannetta. And 3 balls and 2 strikes. O'Malley made him work, and Iannetta now doing the same thing. Adam Lynn out at third, Leonis Martin the tying run at second. 2-0 Yankees. Bottom of the second inning. Big pitch right here. Runners get their leads. The set by Tanaka, and the 3-2 on the way. Swing and a ground ball to short. Up with the ball is Gregorius. The throw to first, and it's in time to get Iannetta. And Masahiro Tanaka gets himself out of it.
The Yankees leads things off facing Iwakuma. Iwakuma takes a sign, kicks, fires home, and Gregorius looks at a first pitch strike. A curveball that crosses home plate at 68 miles an hour. And it's 0-1. He'll be followed by Sanchez and then Teixeira. Iwakuma, a long look in. Iannetta gives the target now on the 0-1. Swinging a lift out towards left field to Oki. Slowing up some. He's nearing the warning track. Now puts on the Jets a little bit near the end and makes the catch. Gregorius flies out to left field on the second pitch. And there is out number 1. That brings in Gary Sanchez. Sanchez has now homered 9 times since being called up. He hit a thunderous second deck homer out to left field back in the first inning. That made it 1-0 New York. It has since gone to 2-0 Yankees. That's our Red Hook score. Iwakuma's first pitch on the way, and Sanchez looks at it low for ball 1. Now, Sanchez has nearly hit as many home runs in the majors as he had in the minors this year. He hit 10 home runs in AAA. He's sitting on 9 right now with the Yankees. The 1-0. And a misses low, 2-0. So Iwakuma, no doubt, being very careful with Sanchez, who that second deck home run back in the first, that was a pitch above the knees that caught a lot of the plate. It was not a good pitch from Iwakuma. The shift is on. The 2-0. Missing low and outside quickly. 3 balls and no strikes to Sanchez. Teixeira on deck, then starting Castro. Yankees trailing the Mariners by just 3 games in the wild card standings entering today. The windup and the pitch. And it's over the plate for a strike. 3-1 to Sanchez, who has become essentially the everyday catcher for New York. He did DH last night. Brian McCann did the catching. The 3-1. And it's a strike on the upper inside corner. Sanchez thought that was ball 4. He was astride across home. Instead of full count, that is the second curveball at 68 miles an hour that Iwakuma has thrown Sanchez here in this at-bat. The Yankees leading 2-0, 1 out, nobody on top of the third. Iwakuma rocks, delivers. Sanchez swings, hits a high pop-up. Over on the third base side, O'Malley having to fight the sun with his glove. He's in foul territory. Leg straight, looks up, makes the catch. Sanchez pops up foul to third. 2 outs. We'll pause for station identification. This is the Alaska Airlines Mariners Radio Network.
Hey, Mariner fans, it's Bob here. Obviously, no show today because you're listening to the Mariners taking on the Yankees, but we are back tomorrow talking about this series. Plus, we'll talk some NFL with a famous cowboy. You may have heard of him. Moose Johnson will be a guest of the program. We start at noon right here on KIRO AM Seattle.
2 outs. The first pitch to Teixeira is low for ball 1. Teixeira, the switch hitter, batting lefty. 0 for 1. He grounded out to Marte to end the first inning. They have the shift on for Teixeira, 3 on the right side. The pitch. And it misses outside. 2 balls and no strikes to Teixeira. Really struggling here in his final season. Batting 196 entering today's game. Iwakuma looks in, and the right-hander's 2-0 toss. Low and outside, it's 3-0. So back-to-back 3-ball counts from Iwakuma. Has missed inside, has missed outside. A run of the first for the Yankees, a run of the second. They lead 2-0. The 3-0 pitch. And it misses inside, a 2-out. 4-pitch walk to Teixeira, batting 196. That brings in Castro. First walk in the ball game for Iwakuma. We'll take a look around the Northwest Chevy dealer scoreboard. Game in progress right now in Oakland as the A's are taking it to the Indians in the second inning, 5-0. Danny Valencia has punched in 2 runs. Indians a 6.5 game lead over the Tigers entering play today. Top spot in the Central. 2 outs to Teixeira at first, and the pitch to Castro. Here's a strike. A final from within the division as the Astros take down the Pirates 5-4 from PNC Park. For the Astros, their 5th win in 6 games. Lost last night, the 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Ivan Nova, the former Yankee, a complete game for Pittsburgh a night ago, but overall the Astros playing pretty well lately. 2 outs to Teixeira at first, and suddenly Iwakuma ahead 0-2 to Castro. Iwakuma arms down to his side, now takes a peek at first. Another look at first base, and the right-hander delivers. It's outside for ball 1. That's the right call, but there were a couple of Mariner infielders making a step towards the dugout, thinking that would end the inning. 2-0 Yankees, top of the third. Castro having a fine offensive year, batting .262, 17 home runs. Just a very slightly open stance, right on right. Iannetta sets up outside. The 1-2. Missing low and away. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Castro is the lone strikeout victim for Iwakuma in this ball game. That was back in the second. We play in the third. Martin in center, shaded a couple of steps towards right. Marte, the shortstop, closer to third. The 2-2, swinging a ground ball, hopping foul over by third base. And the count stays put, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Iwakuma having to throw his fair share of pitches so far today. He's at 56 right now with 2 outs in the third inning. Tanaka barely broke a sweat in the first, had to labor a little bit in the second, had runners at second and third base to end the inning, but nobody came in. 2 outs, a man aboard. Iwakuma's 2-2. Swinging a high fly ball, pop up really up in the infield. Here is Cano at second base, stands underneath it, and he makes the catch. Castro pops up to second base for out number 3. Teixeira stranded. We begin the bottom of the third. 2-0 Yankees. Tanaka's first pitch. Marte swings and grounds it softly to Castro, the second baseman, who charges, curls behind it, scoops and makes a throw onto first base. And Marte on the very first pitch is out number 1, a 4-3 putout. One out, nobody on for Norioki, back to the top of the order. Yankees scoring in the first and in the second innings. They held off the board in the third. Mariners had Tanaka against the ropes a little bit in the second. They stranded runners at second and third base. And steps Aoki. Tanaka turns, tosses home, and a strike's poured in on the outside edge, a 92-mile-an-hour fastball strike. Tanaka has been brilliant lately. He's been on an absolute roll. He deals. And a misses low. Ball 1. Tanaka has struck out at least 8 batters in each of his last 3 starts without walking a hitter. That's tied a major league record. The windup and the pitch. Missing low in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike. Mariners trail 2-0. That's our Red Hook score. We play with 1 out, nobody on here in the bottom of the third inning. Final game of this series. Mariners winning game 1. Yankees winning last night. Tanaka looks in, gets a sign from Sanchez, and the right-hander's pitch. Swinging a foul back to the net. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Smith is on deck. 1 out, base is empty. Well, a win for the Yankees would mean that they would creep a game closer in the wild card standings. A loss for the Mariners would mean their first series loss this month. Right now, Yankees leading 2-0. Here comes the 2-2. Swinging this is slapped down the left field line. A base hit, fair. Gardner chasing it into the corner. Has to play it off the base of the wall as Aoki steams it to second base. And he holds up there. Aoki, a 1-out double. And the Mariners have a runner in scoring position for Seth Smith. First extra base hit today for the Mariners.
A lot of times that's what you have to do with Tanaka. You got to wait sometimes on that pitch and stay behind it, hit it the other way. Nice swing right there by Norioki down that left field line for the extra base hit, and you got to cash in right here against Tanaka. You had a chance in the second. You don't get too many against a guy like Masahiro Tanaka.
Yeah, the Mariners had runners at second and third with 1 out in the second inning. Could not cash in. See what they can do here. Smith, a line drive out to third base, although it was on the first base side of second because of the shift. It was Torreyes who made the catch. Hit the ball to the button, though. First pitch to Smith. And it's in for a strike. First pitch curve. Alaska Airlines flyers can enjoy the most nonstop flights from Seattle to over 80 destinations, including tropical Kona, Honolulu, and Maui. You can book today at alaskaair.com. The Yankees lead 2-0. 1 on, 1 out, bottom of the third. Aoki leads at second base. Tanaka from the stretch, the pitch. Low and outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Tanaka, a right-hander on the season, actually has had better success against left-handed hitting. Lefties like Smith hitting just .228 against Tanaka. Castro at second base. Heels in the grass in right field. Gregorius nearly right behind the bag at second, the shortstop. A long pause and the 1-1. Swinging a high pop-up foul ground third base side. Torreyes is moving over quickly in front of the railing of the dugout, but this is into the seats, a foul ball. And set behind the count as it goes to 1-2. A quality start for Tanaka earlier this season. That was his third start of the year back in April in the Bronx. 7 innings, just 2 earned runs, no walks, and 6 strikeouts. Smith behind 1-2. He's got Aoki at second base. Smith represents the tying run. Tanaka pauses. And now fires away. Swing and miss is pulled foul on the ground over by first base. Still 1-2. Mariners trying to find a way to push a run in against Tanaka, who has been one of the best road pitchers in all of baseball this year. He's been much better away from Yankee Stadium than he has been in the Bronx. This year, a 2.28 ERA on the road. He has only coughed up 4 homers in a visiting ballpark this year, compared to 12 at home. 1 out, 1 on. And here comes the 1-2. Swinging a foul high over the screen. Still a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, right field is so short over there at Yankee Stadium, so you pile up left-handed hitters against the righty Tanaka, and the ball gets out of there. It just goes straight across from the right field foul pole straight out to center field, and it's real easy to get it out in right field at Yankee Stadium.
There's no doubt about that. Overall this year, just 16 home runs allowed by Tanaka in 25 starts. So it doesn't give up many home runs, but the ones that he does cough up, most of them have come at home. Aoki leads at second base after the double. 1 out. Mariners down by 2. The next pitch. And it's inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Next pitch will be number 7 to Seth Smith. Canoa's on deck, then Nelson Cruz. Smith bends at the knees. He leans over the plate, holds that bat low on the knob. Aoki at second base, bobbing back and forth, and here's a throw to second base. Aoki is in standing as Gregorius, the shortstop, pounced on top of the bag trying to apply that tag to Aoki, but he's back in time. Torres, the third baseman, is far off the bag, as Gregorius is almost right behind second. So really just one man on the left side of the infield right now for Smith. Big chance here in the third inning for the Mariners. Tying run is at the plate. The 2-2, and it's low. Sanchez keeps it in front of him as it trickles out almost to the lip of the grass in front of the hitter circle. It's a full count to Seth. And this will be, at a minimum, an 8-pitch plate appearance for Seth Smith.
How many times have we seen Seth Smith having a bat like this?
It's what he does so well.
Yep. Really making Tanaka work.
Tanaka curling that black glove up, now giving a nod to Sanchez. Couple of glances at second base. Tanaka's 3-2. And it's low for ball 4. An 8-pitch walk to Seth Smith. And that is a complete rarity for Tanaka. He has actually walked a batter. This is the first time since July 27th that Masahiro Tanaka has given out ball 4. He had gone 4 consecutive starts without walking a man. We mentioned the streak. 3 consecutive starts of at least 8 strikeouts with no walks, and that will come to a close today. It just did. So how about this? He has given out his first walk before he has struck out his first batter, which is the absolute impossibility for Tanaka these days, but it has happened here. Time called as Cano digs in.
Look for Robbie to try to jump on a first pitch fastball. He's been real good at jumping on a first pitch out over the plate.
Cano represents the go-ahead run. Aoki at second, Smith at first. Tanaka delivers. And a first pitch strike. Lower outside corner, strike 1. Cano hitting .295 on the season, 28 home runs. He's an RBI shy of number 80 on the year. With Seager out of the lineup, Cano is the Mariners' leading RBI man in the starting 9 today. 2 on, 1 out. Mariners down by 2 here in the third, making Tanaka work. The pitch, swinging, it's rattled foul. Right back behind Sanchez, and quickly it's 0-2 on Cano. Now, this is the second consecutive inning the Mariners have had multiple runners on base. Stranded 2 in the second. They have runners at first and second base here in the third, only 1 down, and Cano at the dish. Cano a single back in the first inning, tried to stretch it to a double, was cut down at second base to end the inning. Tanaka ahead, the right-hander's pitch well outside. It's 1-2. That's about the top velocity we'll see from Tanaka, 93 miles an hour, and it wasn't close. One thing we have seen over the years from Masahiro Tanaka, he will throw virtually any pitch in any count, and he's got plenty to choose from. The fastball, the cutter, the splitter, of course, slider, curveball. 1 out, 2 on. Mariners trailing 2-0 here in the third inning. Tanaka comes set, chest high, looks at second, now fires home. Swinging a ground ball, chopping to Torreyes, down to a knee, gobbles it up, throws down to second for 1. On to first, it's in time for the double play as Torreyes just put his chest in front of it, down on a knee, and fielded it on a very awkward hop. Got rid of it in a...
And on a base hit by Tyler Austin. Gary Sanchez with a long home run into the upper deck in left field in the first. Here's the pitch on the way. Curveball to strike. And it's 0-1. So Iwakuma and Tanaka locking horns for the second time this year. First time in April the 17th. And the pitch, swing and a miss by Judge. 0-2 the count. As we mentioned, the Yankees and Tanaka won that matchup 4-3 in the Bronx. Iwakuma stretches those arms high in the air, looks in, has the sign, the windup, and the 0-2 pitch. Strike 3 called, got him looking with a fastball on the outside corner. That is strikeout number 2 for Hisashi Iwakuma. He struck out Starlin Castro, leading off the second. So 1 away for the Yankees here in the fourth. That'll bring up center fielder Aaron Hicks. And this reminder, see the winning lineup of over 1,500 new and used vehicles, including Subaru, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Chevy, Ford, Lincoln, and Mazda at Dwayne Lane's Auto Family. Everett, Arlington, Cedral, Woolley, Burlington, and DwayneLane.com. Here's center fielder Aaron Hicks, the line and the pitch. Strike called, 0-1. When Iwakuma gets into a groove, he usually stays right there. Here's the windup and the 0-1 on the way. Swing and a miss. And it's 0-2 the count on Hicks. Hicks with a base hit into right field, his first time up in the second. What a day out for baseball. Absolutely perfect. 76 degrees. Plenty of sunshine. The windup and the 0-2. Low and outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Just a little bit of a breeze blowing in from the left field corner. Packed house this afternoon as the Mariners say goodbye to the Yankees. Mariners heading out on the road trip right after the ball game today. We head to Chicago. The windup and the 1-2 pitch. Swinging a foul out of play behind the plate. And the count is still 1-2 on Hicks. On deck is first baseman Tyler Austin. Yankees 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors. Mariners no runs, 4 hits, and no errors. Iwakuma ready, the windup and the 1-2. Swing and a line drive into left field. Oki coming in, and he's got to play it on the short hop. And maybe if he get a few more steps coming in, a chance to get there. But Hicks with a single the other way, and he's on at first base with 1 away. Brings up first baseman Tyler Austin. Hall of Famer Reggie Jackson in town with the Yankees ball club. Always fun to run into Reggie. I missed him today. He's a big trivia buff. We used to play baseball trivia when he came to town. Had a chance to see him in Cooperstown when Junior was inducted back on July the 24th. And came out to the Mariners party honoring Junior at the Fenimore Art Museum. Man, what a beautiful weekend for Ken Griffey Jr. Junior was in town last night broadcasting the game on ESPN television. But Reggie was there. A lot of Hall of Famers showed up for that Mariners party to honor Junior. Here's Tyler Austin. He's 1 for 1 with an RBI single. The pitch, strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Reggie came by. Randy Johnson was there. Cal Ripken Jr., Ricky Henderson showed up. Mariner Hall of Famers, of course, Jay Buhner was there, and Jamie Moyer. What a great party. The set by Iwakuma, 1 on, 1 away, top of the 4th. And the 0-1 swing and a ground ball to third. Backhanded, long reach by O'Malley. A throw down to second, 1. The relay to first, not in time. Or did they get Hicks at second base? Hicks is still standing on the bag. I thought they got him. O'Malley to his right, the backhand. And safe at second is Hicks. They didn't get him. So Hicks safe at second base. Tyler Austin safe at first base. There's going to be a fielder's choice. Man, that would have been tough to throw out Austin at first base. Sean O'Malley getting the start at third this afternoon for Kyle Seager out with a sore foot. Cano took that throw, tried to complete a double play, and the Mariners didn't get anybody. And I'm sure Chris Prieto was taking a look at both plays, the one at second and the one at first base, but Scott Service will not challenge either call. So the Yankees have runners on at first and second with 1 out, and here is Ronald Torreyes. Torreyes 0 for 1 has flied out to Oki in left field. And Iwakuma looking for that ground ball again, but hopefully right at somebody. O'Malley had to go to his right. Here's the pitch. Swing and a line drive base hit into left field. Hicks rounding third. He's going to be stopped there. Up with the ball is Aoki. The throw home is cut off by O'Malley, the third baseman. And the Yankees have the bases loaded with 1 out. Hicks to third, Austin down at second, and Torreyes, who had 3 hits last night, has his first base hit this afternoon. Base is full of Yankees, 1 out, and the batter will be Brett Gardner. And Gardner is 0 for 2 on the day. Time called. Catcher Chris Iannetta out to the mound. Have a talk with Hisashi. And now here comes pitching coach Mel Stottlemyre Jr. out of the dugout along with interpreter Anthony Suzuki. This visit to the mound brought to you by Proliant Surgeons, the surgical experts serving the Pacific Northwest. Proliant Surgeons. Gardner has grounded out to Cano at second to lead off the game. He's also grounded out to Adam Lynn at first base. Iwakuma able to get a lot of ground ball outs with that splitter. Mel Stottlemyre Jr. has done a great job with his pitching staff. Mike Hampton, the bullpen coach, as well. And there's a lot of good things going on down in the minor league system. Lance Painter is the pitching coach down at AAA Tacoma. Taiwan Walker just went down recently, and after his third start down there, pitched very well. Came back up the start in last night's ball game. Paxton didn't make the ball club at spring training. He starts off at AAA Tacoma working with Painter. And then Mel Stottlemyre Jr. a chance to get to these guys and keep the progress going. And it is a process that starts down there. The players buy in and they get the results and they get back up here. And that's the main goal. Here's Brett Gardner. Base is loaded, 1 out, 2-0 New York. Corners are close. O'Malley and Lynn. Here's the stretch and the pitch on the way, and it's a breaking ball for a strike. Slow curve at 73 miles an hour. And it's 0-1 on Gardner. It's a good way for a lot of pitchers to go 0-1 with a slow curveball. Get me over curveball. Hicks, Austin, and Torres on at third, second, and first. The stretch by Iwakuma. Checks the runners, and the 0-1 pitch to Gardner. Swing and a line drive down the left field line. Slicing. It's going to be a foul ball. Foul down the left field line. All the runners head on back. Hicks to third, Austin to second, Torres back to first base, and the count is 0-2 on Gardner. Hisashi Iwakuma trying to get himself out of a big jam here in the top of the fourth inning. One out single by Aaron Hicks. Tyler Austin saved for the fielder's choice as the Mariners tried to turn a double play. Got neither guy, Hicks at second or Austin at first. And Torres a base hit to left field. 0-2 on Gardner with Didi Gregorius due up next. Iwakuma taking a lot of time between pitches. And now he steps off the rubber and Gardner backs away from home plate. It is a different looking Yankee ball club with the trades of veterans like Aroldis Chapman at the end of July to Chicago. Andrew Miller to Cleveland. Here's the stretch and the 0-2 pitch. Fastball is outside for ball one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Carlos Beltran over to the Texas Rangers. And a lot of the youngsters have come up and they played well, especially the catcher Gary Sanchez. Another home run this afternoon, his 9th of the year. He came up on August the 10th, 2 weeks ago. Gardner, tough man to double up. Infielders back up the middle. Runners their leads. Bases loaded, 1 out the stretch, and the 1-2 to Gardner. Swing and a fly ball into deep right center field. Going back is Smith. That's going to score a run. Smith with the catch. Tagging at third. Scoring is Aaron Hicks. Everybody will move off a base. The Yankees now lead 3-0 here in the top half of the fourth. A sacrifice fly for Brett Gardner, and there's 2 outs in the inning. Hicks scores. Austin will go to third and Torres to second base. So 2 on 2 outs. 3-0 Yankees. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Alaska Airlines Mariners Radio Network.
Our Mariners fans, M's wrapping up their big homestand, and it is off to Chicago for a big 4-gamer before it all gets going against Texas. What kind of moves do they need to make before this trip in order to give them the best chance for success? We'll discuss tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. It's Brock and Salk, 710 ESPN, KIRO AM Seattle.
Here's shortstop Didi Gregorius. The pitch from Iwakuma, swinging a ground ball back up the middle. Cano way to his right to backhand. The throw across his body to first in time to get Gregorius. Holy smokes. What a play by Robbie Cano to get Gregorius, and he's saying nothing. Bottom of the fourth, Nelson Cruz will lead it off. Turns the bunt, shows bunt, and he takes a pitch for a strike. 0-1. He's not going to bunt. He's going to make Tanaka throw him a strike. And he did. Cruz, first pitch swinging, lined into right center field, but Aaron Hicks was able to get over, make the catch. Tanaka delivers high and inside for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Masahiro Tanaka, 26th start of the year, 27 years of age. The windup and the 1-1 to Nelly inside for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. This guy doesn't walk anybody. Around the year, only 27 walks in his 25 starts. The windup and the 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Helmet goes flying off the head of Cruz, and the count is even on Cruz at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tanaka 10-4. Around the year with a 3.24 ERA. Tanaka looked behind him as Cruz gets settled inside the batter's box. And the 2-2. Swing and a ground ball, 2-hopper to short to his right to backhanded Gregorius. The throw to first in time to get Cruz. And there's one away. A Red Hook score, 3-0 New York. Mariners have won series after series over the last month. Only 2 games back in the wild card with 36 games left to play. Mariners 67 and 58 on the year, 7 games over the 500 mark. When the Mariners were at 500 at 52 and 52. Since then, they've gone 15 and 6. Nice run. Here's Adam Lind swinging. Ground ball, 1-hopper right back to the mound. Up with the ball is Tanaka. The throw to first in time to get Lynn for out number 2. 2 up and 2 down in a hurry. Mariners almost got to him in the second, left 2 on, and almost got to him in the third. They had 2 on, and then Robbie Cano hit into a double play. Heck of a double play started by Torres, the third baseman. As he reached to his left, he went down to a knee, and from his left knee, fired down to second, and the Yankees turned 2 to get out of the inning. Here's Leonis Martin. The windup and the pitch. Strike on the outside corner. 0-1.
And this game is about 3 inches shy of being a 1-run game. Martin missed a home run by maybe even less than that.
Off the top of the wall down that right field line. The next pitch swung on. Ground ball hit hard up the middle. Dive into his left. Gregorius can't get to it. A base hit to center field. And Leonis Martin continues his hot hitting. Coming into this afternoon's game, he had hit safely in 9 of 10 for an average of .303. And he's 2 for 2 this afternoon against Tanaka. And as Aaron mentioned, almost hit one out his last time up.
It's really not fair that in the box score he is given credit for 2 singles when they have been very different so far today. But that's what they are.
One off the wall, long single as Judge was able to get to it, get the throw in. Now the base at center. Here's Sean O'Malley. Long at bat in the second. The pitch. Strike called. 0-1. Mariners have won 13 of their last 18, 15 of 21. They've gone 21-12 in their last 33 games. And they've done it with a variety of starters in that rotation. They have reshuffled the deck in the bullpen. Here's the stretch and the 0-1. Swinging a pop-up out of play on the third base side. And the count is no balls and 2 strikes. With the addition of Tony Zink now with the ball club down in the pen. He worked in last night's game. Tony throwing 97, 98 miles an hour. Another power arm in the bullpen. Wade LeBlanc, for the time being, is now in the bullpen. And what a job he did in the rotation. In his 8 starts, the Mariners were 7-1. Here's the set by Tanaka, and the right-hander's 0-2 pitch to O'Malley. Swing and a miss. Low breaking ball for strike 3, and that'll end the inning in the bottom of the 4th for the Mariners. No runs, a hit, and 1 man will lead off the inning. Sanchez 1 for 2, a long home run into the upper deck and left field back in the 1st. The windup and the pitch. Breaking ball for a strike. Slow curve at 71 miles an hour. Man, this kid is dangerous. Last time up, he popped up to third baseman Sean O'Malley. Iwakuma back with the 0-1 pitch. Swinging a liner on a hop. Skips on by O'Malley at third and down the left field line. That was a rocket off the bat. Sanchez the second. The ball rattles around in the corner. Picked up by Aoki. The throw in is cut off by the shortstop Marte. Gary Sanchez hit a BB past Sean O'Malley to his right at third base. Barely had time to react. And Sanchez is in at second base with a double. Man, does he hit the ball hard. Here is designated hitter Mark Teixeira. Now the Mariners have the shift on for Teixeira with Marte on the other side of the bag, along with Cano and Lynn. Teixeira is 0 for 1, is grounded out to Cano at second, and he is walked. Iwakuma look back at Sanchez. The stretch and the pitch. Low and inside for ball 1 with a fastball at 88. Kuma top it out at 90 with his fastball today. Throwing gas brought to you by ExxonMobil. We fuel your journey. Stop by your local ExxonMobil today. And today is the rubber match of the 3-game series. Mariners winning a couple of nights ago 7-5. Yankees winning last night 5-1. Just good to see Taijuan Walker back with the ball club. He is so important to the Mariners' fortunes the rest of the way. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Ground ball foul. Past first base coach Tony Pena. And the count is even on Teixeira at 1 ball and 1 strike. Mariners need Walker to pitch well down the stretch, and James Paxton to complement Felix and Iwakuma. And right now, Ariel Miranda is in that starting rotation. Wade LeBlanc is out for the time being. He's down in the bullpen for another lefty in the pen. But Scott Service has been doing a really good job. Here's the pitch on the way. Swing and a pop-up in behind third base. Shading his eyes, going back shallow left near the line is third baseman Sean O'Malley. And O'Malley gets back in plenty of time to make the catch. One on and one away. But Service has done a great job, as we mentioned, with so many pitchers coming up from the minor leagues or other pitchers coming over from different organizations to get them in the bullpen to find roles and in that starting rotation as well. Guys have come up to the minor leagues like Cody Martin. Martin back down now with the addition of Guillermo Heredia, so the Mariners could have the extra bat and the extra defense in left field. Here's second baseman Starlin Castro. Castro is 0 for 2 on the day against Iwakuma. 1 on, 1 away. 3-0 Yankees here in the top of the fifth. Kuma look back, delivers, and it's low and outside on Castro. Ball 1. Right now you got 4 guys down there in the bullpen that throw mighty hard for the Mariners. Edwin Diaz can throw 100, and so can Caminero. Zick 98. Tom Wilhelmsen could throw 98. That's tough to look at late in the ball game. The stretch and the 1-0 pitch low and outside in the dirt. Good stop by Chris Iannetta for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. With the Olympics just wrapping up in Rio, going back to 2004, Iwakuma pitched in the Olympics for Japan, and they finished with a bronze medal. Four years later, he won Japan's version of the Cy Young Award. Here's the stretch, and the 2-0 pitch to Castro, way outside, ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes to count. Iwakuma started for the Kentetsu Buffaloes, but then he really had some great years. His 7 years with Rakuten Golden Eagles, 4 years with Kentetsu, 11 years pitching in Japan. And he had that Cy Young season, Japan's version, in 2008. Here's the stretch and the 3-0 pitch. Instead, Iwakuma steps off the rubber and he looks. Sanchez back to the bag. Second baseman Robbie Cano is trying to keep him close. Now the set by Iwakuma and the 3-0 pitch to Castro. It's outside for ball 4, and the Yankees have runners on at first and second with 1 out. And that's the second walk given up by Iwakuma. And the batter is right fielder Aaron Judge. Judge wearing number 99 on his back. When you go in that Yankee clubhouse, these are big kids, man. Dylan Betances looks like an offensive lineman. This kid right here, Aaron Judge. Sanchez. Here's the stretch. And the pitch to Judge. Swing and a foul behind home plate, and the count is 0-1.
Mariners saw Betances last night. I don't think there's a more intimidating pitcher in baseball right now than Betances. Between his repertoire and, just as you were saying, Rick, just his sheer size, he's terrifying.
He walked by me in the clubhouse today and was cast a shadow. He was huge. Iwakuma looked back at the runner at second base, Sanchez. Now the stretch and the 0-1 pitch, swing and a pop-up on a play down the right field side, and the count is 0-2 on Judge. Yankees managed by Joe Girardi. 9th year as the skipper of the ball club. Short while managed the Florida Marlins. Yankees' last World Series title was back in 2009, 7 years ago. That was their first year in new Yankee Stadium, too, as they beat the Philadelphia Phillies. Runners get their leads. Kuma taking some time. Now the 0-2 pitch, swinging a ground ball to short, up with the ball. Marte over to Cano at second. There's one, relay to first, double play, and that will end the inning. They get Castro at second and double up Judge at first base. 6-4-3, double play into the inning. Here's Chris Iannetta, and the pitch, a swing and a miss, 0-1. Well, it's time for the Farmers Friendly Review. Call your local farmers agent today to learn more about their new Farmers Smart Plan home policy, where you can tailor your homeowner coverage to fit your needs. 3-0 New York. Gary Sanchez, long home run, upper deck in the first inning, left field. Here's the pitch, check swing. It's inside. Did he go? He did not. And it's 1-1 on Iannetta. The Yankees took a 2-0 lead in the second on an RBI single by Tyler Austin. That scored Aaron Judge. Added a run in the fourth on a sacrifice fly by Brett Gardner. Swing and a foul back by Iannetta as the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. A lot of no decisions for Tanaka early in the season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In his first 8 starts, he was 0-1. And that 1-0 in that one win was against the Mariners on April the 17th. 1-0. Next pitch, low and away for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count on Chris Iannetta. He had a great game at Baltimore. 8 scoreless innings, but had a no decision. Here's the pitch. Up high with the fastball. Ball 3. Full count 3-2 on Iannetta. Trying to get something started again here in the bottom of the 5th. But Tanaka's made up for lost time. He's won his last 3 starts in a row against Cleveland, Tampa Bay, and against the Angels down in Anaheim, his last start. Tanaka looks in, the windup and the pitch. Swing and a well-hit ball, but Iannetta pulls it foul, and this one way over into foul territory and deep, but foul, and the count is still 3-2 on Iannetta, with 7 home runs on the year. Tanaka has given up 16 home runs on the season. Here's the windup and the 3-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And 1 away for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 5th, and that is strikeout number 2 for Masahiro Tanaka. Brings up shortstop Ketel Marte. Marte 0 for 1 has grounded out to Castro at second. Marte, middle of the year, went on the disabled list on July the 18th. That was the second time he went on the DL. Injured his thumb sliding into second base back in June. That put him on the DL. And then the last time was a bad case of mono. Lost a lot of weight, about 20 pounds. Here's the pitch. Fastball for a strike, and it's 0-1.
That was a little surprising to hear that that's why he was on the DL when that news first came out. The mono. Not something you hear about every day here in the majors.
Here's the pitch, and it's inside for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Although Jet Lowry suffered from mono many years ago and had to go on the disabled list. But nonetheless, this is not your common DL stint. Let's put it that way.
No, he was really sick and lost so much weight. I think he lost, 22 pounds. Here's a bunted ball on the first base side. Charging, trying to barehand it. The second baseman Castro does, but no throw to first. A perfectly placed bunt. Infield single in that triangle between Tanaka, the pitcher, Castro, the second baseman, and Austin, the first baseman. And that, my friends, is as good as it gets, right in that triangle on the right side of the infield for a bunt single. That was a beauty. So 1 on and 1 away, and that'll bring up Nori Aoki. If you can get it by the pitcher, that's the key. Aoki is 1 for 2 with a double down the left field line. The stretch. Long hesitation, and now the pitch on the way. Slow curve for a strike. 0-1. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Yankees lead it 3-0. Mariners need to chip away at that 3-run deficit right here, right now. Marte, good speed on it first. He has 8 steals. Tanaka throwing that slow curveball today. Throws that splitter. 2 pitches you can run on if you get a good jump. Here's the pitch and a swing and a miss by Aoki. And it's 0-2. A lot of times you see Nori swinging and getting out of the batter's box. His body's moving forward and up that first base line. Here's the stretch. And the 0-2 pitch to Aoki on the way, and it's low outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. On a pitch inside, you know, he can still be able to reach that pitch with that kind of swing, but sometimes can make it tough with a pitch on the outside corner. If he's moving too quickly onto the batter's box toward first. Tanaka looks in, has the sign. Here's the stretch. And a toss over to first base, and that'll get Marte back to the bag. Mariners now with 6 base hits. The Yankees have 6. And the Yankees lead 3-0. Again, the set by Tanaka. Long hesitation on the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss by Aoki for strike 3. And that is strikeout number 3 for Masahiro Tanaka. 2 outs in the inning. And the batter will be right fielder Seth Smith. Smith really made Tanaka work his last time up in the 3rd. Tanaka threw 8 pitches to retire Seth Smith. Smith steps in. The set by Tanaka. And he delivers. Strike called. 0-1. Each side with 6 base hits. Seth Smith trying to get this crowd in the ballgame. Right now, nothing on the board for the Mariners. Yankees 3 runs on 6 hits. Tanaka looks in, the sign, the stretch, and the right-hander's 0-1 pitch. Swing and a foul over the screen behind home plate. Into the crowd, and the count is 0-2.
I can't remember that a team that has shifted as much with 2 strikes or altered their shift as we've seen this before in this series. Torreyes, now the third baseman, has moved over onto the first base side, swapping with Gregorius. I can't remember a team doing it more than the Yankees the last few games.
At first, Marte, the stretch, and the 0-2 pitch is outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, they'd like to bring Torreyes, the third baseman, on the other side of the bag. They want to keep Castro, the shortstop, in the same spot, shaded toward a little bit toward the bag.
I could see Hicks and Gardner just flip it up midway through the at-bat, you know? Get everybody involved here.
Sure, why not? Shift in the infield. Have a little shift in the outfield. Here's the stretch and the 1-2 swing and a ground ball to the third baseman Torreyes on the other side of the bag, and the throw to first. It's in time to get Smith, and that will end the inning. No runs, a hit, and 1 man left on after.
It's here in the 6th inning for New York. Iwakuma to face the bottom third of the order for the Yankees. Here comes Kuma's first pitch of the inning on the way home. Hicks, a bunt pushed up the third base line. O'Malley watches this coast foul, and it stays foul. That was tiptoeing the chalk for a while, but a foul ball. And strike 1. Well, sign your little sluggers up for the new free Mariners Kids Club powered by Junior Mariners. Membership includes newsletters and special offers. Plus, when you visit Safeco Field to get a wiffle ball, Kids Club badge, and more. Join the free Mariners Kids Club at mariners.com/kids. Looks to be some activity inside the bullpen for the Mariners as Vidal Nuno begins to loosen up. Hicks has reached base twice. He's 2 for 2, a couple of singles and a run scored. Iwakuma stretching his arm straight up into the sunshine, looks in now. And the right-hander's pitch misses low. 1 ball and 1 strike. It was a real treat earlier today and yesterday as well to have John Sterling in the booth, the longtime voice of the Yankees. Was kind enough to join us for about 15 minutes. The pitch. A strike on the outside corner. It's 1-2. Sterling recording a very lengthy roundtable with us, which we thoroughly enjoyed. You can find that on the Mariners official baseball podcast in the coming days. Mariners.com/podcast. The windup and the 1-2 to Aaron Hicks. He swings and pulls it on the ground, foul over by first base. Still 1-2.
Seems like John was very happy. He made a very timely comment that Mr. Steinbrenner enjoyed about, hey, leave Steinbrenner alone, blame the players. And Steinbrenner said, John, you got a job for life.
If they try to kick you out, I'll veto it. And the boss is a good guy to have on your side. The 1-2. A check swing right in front of home. Ionetta tiptoes over the bat, dropped by Hicks. He picks the ball up, throws to first. And time to get the speedster for out number 1. We'll pause for station identification. This is the Alaska Airlines Mariners Radio Network.
The Mariners are starting Hisashi Iwakuma. They've got Misfit Radio waiting in the bullpen. Hey, it's Danny O'Neill from Danny, Dave, and more. And after the Mariners get finished with the Yankees, we're going to come on and clean everything up. That starts today after the game, 710 ESPN, KIRO, AM Seattle.
1 up, 1 down in the top of the 6th with Nuno warming. It brings in Tyler Austin. Austin snapped an 0-for-16 slide with a run-scoring single back in the second. One of the many rookies for the Yankees. 3-0 New York. Bases clean. Iwakuma's pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Rick, I know you can relate to this well. It was really a joy to hear Sterling talk about the 1995 series with the Mariners. Oh. He was recreating at-bats practically, talking about that.
Yeah, he was right. It was Jim Leyritz that won Game 2 in the 15th inning, and we didn't leave. There was a pitch inside, 1-1 the count. I don't think we left Yankee Stadium until about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Had a long flight home, and Randy Johnson ends up winning Game 3, and Edgar had the huge game, 2 home runs, grand slam in Game 4, and then the incredible Game 5, Edgar with the double in the bottom of the 11th inning to win the series.
The 1-1, swinging a fly ball deep down the right side, foul. 1-2.
And he was really right when he said there were the highest of highs and the lowest of lows in that series. Mariners lose 2 games in New York. It's a best of 5. And then the highest of highs to come back and win 3 in a row at the Kingdome to help save baseball in this community.
Iwakuma peers in. The right-hander's 1-2. And it's low, 2-2.
And all of the what could have been from that series that didn't happen. Mariano Rivera came on in relief, and he was really right when he said they didn't know what they had at the time. They brought in Jack McDowell in relief of the 9th inning to pitch 3 innings in relief. And Rivera was starting. He started a game against the Mariners back in 1995 as a kid, and the Yankees almost traded him to Seattle.
2-2, outside, full count.
The Yankees were interested in Felix Fermin, and Gene Michael said, no, we want to keep this kid. They didn't make the trade for Fermin. They kept Mariano Rivera, eventually worked his way to the bullpen, became the greatest closer in baseball history.
Yeah, we looked it up before the game. His first ever career start in one of only 10 came against the Mariners.
Yeah, September 5th of 1995, he started that ball game.
The windup and the 3-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. 2 outs. Only the second strikeout today for Iwakuma. Pardon me, the third. But hearing John say those words that you just mentioned, Rick, that they did not know what they had in the bullpen when they really needed him the most. That was, and hearing how much it changed the course of Yankees history, that one game.
And the other thing, too, about the proposed trade, that deal, is that they didn't know what they had in Derek Jeter. Jeter was a young shortstop. Mr. Steinbrenner like veteran guys. That's why they were looking at Felix Fermin. And again, Gene Michael said, nope.
First pitch to Torreyes, misses low, ball 1.
We're going to keep these kids together. And the core 4, was born with Andy Pettit and Posada and Jeter. And Jeter's going to be a future Hall of Famer.
A first ballot guy, no doubt. The 1-0. Misses low. 2-0.
Bernie Williams. So all those young players coming up together at that time. But the Mariners almost got Rivera.
What a coup that would have been as we look back on it. The 2-0. Torres swings and he pops it up behind home. Iannetta off of the mask, racing quickly to the on-deck circle, runs out of room. And this bounces into the seats. It's 2-1. What a crowd on hand for this one today. They just announced the attendance. 41,536.
Wow.
Parking lots are full here today outside Safeco Field. 41,536.
I have one more what could have been story that's at this ballpark right now.
Here comes the 2-1. Swinging a high pop-up just out of the infield. That's the cliffhanger for a century. Here's the pitch. Marte makes the catch back on his heels, and Torres pops to short to end the inning. We will find out about that. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. The second, they left a runner at second base in the 3rd. Here's the pitch to Cano. He swings and misses for strike 1. Well, the Mariners have had a runner on in every inning against Tanaka, and have not been able to come around to touch home plate. Infield tilted off to its right, or our right here, facing Cano, as Gregorius is nearly right behind the bag at second, the shortstop. The 0-1, swinging a high pop into very shallow left field as Gregorius goes chasing out. Instead, Gardner comes pedaling in, and the left fielder with the sunglasses on makes the catch for out number 1. Cano pops to left. That brings in Nelson Cruz. So, Rick, you were telling us.
Yes, the other one could have been, and this was huge for the franchise, 1987 draft. Mariners were interested in signing a college pitcher out of Cal State Fullerton. They also were pretty interested in drafting a young high school kid out of Cincinnati Moeller High School by the name of Ken Griffey Jr.
The pitch to Nelson Cruz is strike 1.
The owner of the ball club, George Ardress, was very interested in signing the college kid out of Cal State Fullerton. But the general manager of the ball club, Dick Bolerson,
the 0-1, and it's low.
The scouting director, Roger Youngward, convinced George Ardress we've got to go with the high school kid. We've got to draft this kid, 1987, Ken Griffey Jr. The guy down in the bullpen right now, bullpen coach for the Yankees, is Mike Harkey. That's the guy they almost drafted instead of Ken Griffey Jr.
He's a great bullpen coach.
He's really good. Really good. But history is a whole lot different if Griffey isn't drafted. And that number 24 in that green paint isn't out there in center field where he started for many, many years. But how about that?
Oh, what a story.
Oh, my goodness. Mike Harkey's here at the ballpark, the bullpen coach now for the Yankees.
Here comes the 1-2. Swinging a foul over the screen. Still a ball and 2 strikes to Cruz. It really is incredible looking at draft history.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fascinating.
Junior's the very first number 1 overall pick to go in the Hall of Fame.
It's incredible.
You don't always get it right. Mariners got it right.
The 1-2. Swinging a fly ball out to center field. Hicks comes trotting in. About 10 strides, he makes the catch right beyond his left shoulder for out number 2. Cruz out to center. That brings in Adam Lind. Well, now a word from Wells Fargo. Find out how a checking account with My Money Map can help you manage your finances so you can move ahead with confidence. Call, click, or stop by to start a conversation with Wells Fargo. Together, we'll go far. Well, that's really one of the things that makes this year's Hall of Fame induction so unique with Junior and Piazza. Junior, the first ever number 1 overall pick to go in. Meanwhile, Piazza, the latest pick ever to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. First pitch to Lind, and this is low for ball 1. Piazza, back in 1988, was taken as a favor in a round that no longer exists.
Yeah.
The 62nd round. The 1-0. And it's outside, 2-0. 2 outs, nobody on. Mariners trail 3-0 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. They have the shift on for Lind. Tanaka turns and tosses away, and it's a strike. have to figure the next #1 overall pick to get into Cooperstown will be Chipper Jones. The 2-1, swinging a soft chopper up the first base line, off the mound. Here comes Tanaka, scoops it up, throws to first base. And the Mariners are retired in order for the first time since the first inning. We go to the minimum just one time in his 6 reigns. Hands things over to Caminero, the Pirate from earlier this year. As Caminero will face the top third in the order for the Yankees. Making his 10th appearance out of the Mariners bullpen. Here is Brett Gardner. Sacrifice flies last time up. He's grounded out twice. Caminero's pitch, swinging this is slashed foul deep down the left side for strike 1. Well, this call of the bullpen brought to you by Seattle's Union Gospel Mission, providing hope for homeless men, women, and children since 1932. First reliever used on either side today. The 0-1. Swinging a high chop off the plate. Caminero waiting a while for it to come down. He has no throw. As Gardner was burning into first base. And he gets a chopped single, infield single base hit. Leadoff man aboard for Didi Gregorius. That brings in Didi Gregorius 0 for 3. Was out on a spectacular play by Cano, ranging to his right back of the 4th. And a play that had to be made. There were runners at second and third base, and Cano was able to snare it. So good speed at first base in Gardner. Gregorius, a left-handed hitter. The pitch. He shows bunt, bunts it firmly up the third base line. O'Malley picks it out of the grass, throws it a little bit high, but very easily played by Lynn. Just had to bring his glove up right about around the bill of his cap. Gregorius is out on a very stiff bunt, and that moves Gardner in to second base. Rick and I were talking during the break, wondering what pick Jeter was. And he was taken 6th overall. We were talking about #1 overall picks making it to the Hall of Fame, how Griffey is the first. But Jeter was taken out of high school in Kalamazoo, Michigan. One out, Gardner at second. That brings in Gary Sanchez. And they will decide to not let Sanchez swing the bat. Here comes 4 wide ones. An intentional walk is underway. Would rather face Teixeira on deck. Next pitch wide. So an infield single, a sac bunt. That has moved Gardner to second base, and now a 2-0 count to Sanchez.
Sanchez 6 for 11 in the series, and everything was hit hard.
Well, his home run today in the first inning. Second deck, left field. His 2 home runs in game 1 were just ropes. Here's the final pitch outside. So an intentional walk to Sanchez, who has reached for the 3rd time. A home run, a double, now an intentional walk. One out, first and second for the Yankees. It brings in Teixeira. Gardner at second, Sanchez at first. Teixeira 0 for 2 with a walk in this game. Here's the pitch. He swings and fouls it away high over the screen. It's 0-1. Castro on deck here in the 7th. The Mariners right now trailing 3-0 to the Yankees. Mariners 2 games outside of the second wild card. The 0-1. Swing, and he just gets a piece, fouls it back to the glove of Iannetta. It's 0-2. It will not be an easy road trip for the Mariners. 4-game series in Chicago against the White Sox beginning tomorrow. They will face Sale and Quintana. What a pitching matchup it is on Friday night from U.S. Cellular Field. The 0-2. Swinging, he just gets a piece, fouls it back. Still 0-2. It'll be Felix versus Chris Sale. I'm trying to run through the Rolodex of starting pitchers who have not pitched in the postseason, and I'm having a hard time thinking of two more deserving than the two that will be pitching on Friday night, with Felix at the front of the list. Here's the pitch, swinging a crack in the left field, dropping in front of Aoki. Gardner steams it at third base. He comes around. The throw is cut off by O'Malley, wide of the mound, over by third base. Gardner slides in safe as the Yankees get their 4th run. It's 4-0 New York on an RBI base hit by Mark Teixeira. Gardner, who reached on the infield single, scores from second. For 4-0 New York. Sanchez, who was intentionally walked, now at second base. Here is Starlin Castro. Caminero pauses and now comes home with the pitch. Low and outside for ball 1. But it's hard to think of two pitchers who have accomplished much more, front of the rotation guys who have accomplished much more in the regular season, who have not pitched in the postseason, than Felix and Sale. The 1-0. Big rip and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Mariners will also face Quintana, Jose Quintana, probably the most underrated lefty, although that has been said so much, it seems like, for the last year and change, maybe even 2 years, that maybe he's finally shedding that reputation and is fully appreciated. An all-star for the first time this year. The pitch. And a strike. It's 1-2. And they're at 100 miles an hour. Carlos Rodon will round out the series for the White Sox. They'll be going up against Taijuan Walker. TBA for tomorrow. TBA for the Mariners on Saturday as well. 2 on, 1 out, top of the 7th inning. Here's the next offering. Big swing and a miss. He blows it past him at 100 miles an hour. Back-to-back triple digits, and Castro is down on strikes. That's out number 2. First strikeout for Caminero. A run in here in the 7th for the Yankees. That was the RBI single by Teixeira. Brought in Gardner from second base. 4-0 New York. In steps Aaron Judge. Caminero delivers. And a strike poured in on the outside edge. Once again, triple digits. Teixeira at first, Sanchez at second base. 2 down. Here comes the offering. And a miss is low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yankees winning last night 5-1. Joe Girardi going with his closer in the 9th inning with a 4-run lead. The 1-1. Check swing, holds back. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. So Girardi taking no chances about last night's game. Goes to show you a little bit about what this series means to the Yankees, just like what it means to the Mariners. Marte deep at short. As Caminero comes set, now fires home. And it's a strike on the outside edge, 100 miles an hour. When we go to the bottom of the 7th, it'll be Martin, O'Malley, and Iannetta. Two on, 2 out for the Yankees here in the 7th. The pause and the 2-2. Swinging a high pop-up, floating foul, first base side. Lind finding the sun with his glove as this finds the seats. A souvenir. Still 2-2 on Judge. Now last pitch at 101.
If you could stand behind a plexiglass wall, wouldn't it be fun to see what a 100-mile-an-hour pitch looks like?
I'll take 2 plexiglass walls.
I want the protection. But I want to see what that looks like. Imagine trying to hit it.
No chance. Caminero set to do it again. Here comes his 2-2. Judge swings and rips through a heater at 100. And just like Castro before him, triple digits finishes off Aaron Judge. And that ends the top of the 7th. Make it 4-0 Yankees, just getting a run in the top of this inning. Here's the pitch. Martin showing bunt. And it misses low for ball 1. Martin muscled a single to right field back in the 2nd inning. It hit off the yellow line. It was inches shy of a 2-run homer. Tanaka's 1-0 pitch. Martin showing bunt, pulls back, looks at strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. He's followed by O'Malley and then Iannetta. The 1-1. Downstairs, too low. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Mariners have not lost a series this month. But that is in jeopardy here today as the Mariners trail by 4. They've been shut out so far by Tanaka. He delivers. And it misses outside. It's 3-1. Nick Vincent beginning to warm up in the bullpen for the Mariners. So we will see Vincent when we get to the 8th. Caminero, 1 run in the 7th. 2 strikeouts. The 3-1 toss. A strike. As Martin, you could tell by his body language, thinking that was ball 4. In fact, he began to walk just a half step towards first base. But we see the tracer. That is a strike. And the count pushes full. Tanaka stares in now. Time called by Martin. Tanaka was taking some time. Martin ready now, leading off the bottom of the 7th. The next pitch. Swinging a ground ball, pulled foul over by first. And it's still 3-2. Entering today, the Mariners 2 games out of the wild card. The Tigers 1 game behind the Mariners. The Royals 2 behind the Mariners. Kansas City has won 9 in a row. Once again, here comes the payoff pitch. Swinging a high fly ball into shallow left field. Gardner comes in, finding the sun some with his glove, and he makes the catch. For out number 1, Martin flies to left. We'll pause for station identification. This is the Alaska Airlines Mariners Radio Network.
Hey, Mariner fans, it's Bob here. Obviously, no show today because you're listening to the Mariners taking on the Yankees. But we are back tomorrow talking about this series. Plus, we'll talk some NFL with a famous cowboy. You may have heard of him. Moose Johnson will be a guest of the program. We start at noon right here on KIRO AM Seattle.
1 out, nobody on for Sean O'Malley. Looking for his first hit. The pitch from Tanaka. O'Malley looks at ball 1. A look around the Northwest Chevy dealer scoreboard as there is suddenly some activity, by the way, inside the bullpen for Joe Girardi. Tyler Clippard is warming up. Tanaka's at 96 pitches. Here comes 97. And it misses low. 2-0. A final from earlier today. The Astros take down the Pirates 5-4. Colin McHugh gets the win in that game for Houston. The 2-0. Swinging a foul over the net. 2 balls and 1 strike. Garrett Cole, who threw a complete game against the Mariners earlier this year in Pittsburgh. Cole roughed up by the Astros. 5 runs over 5 innings. McHugh, not a whole lot better. 3 runs over 5, but getting credit for the win. Ken Giles picking up the save. The 2-1. Swinging. This is slammed foul off the left side. It's 2-2. I've seen Giles working the 9th inning lately for A.J. Hinch, as Will Harris has been used recently as the setup man for the Astros. We saw Harris earlier this year as Houston's closer, an all-star for the first time this year. Tanaka's 2-2. Strike 3 called, a fastball to 91 miles an hour. As O'Malley caught looking, it looked like a borderline pitch. Ruled a strike. 2 outs, brings in Iannetta. Games of interest for the Mariners. The Rangers will be sending Yu Darvish to the mound. That comes up later tonight. They are in Cincinnati. The Reds playing very well recently. First pitch, a strike. Elsewhere, the Orioles, who right now hold a 2-game lead for the second wild card over the Mariners, continuing their series against the Nats. The 0-1. Low and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. So their natural rival, the Nationals, as that series has shifted to Nationals Park. Wade Miley will get the ball for Baltimore. Tanner Roark, very good pitcher for the Nationals, will start the 1-1. Outside, 2-1. Yankees lead 4-0, 2 outs, nobody on, top of the 7th. A's right now leading the Indians 5-1 from the Coliseum. Trevor Bauer knocked around. The 2-1 comes inside, almost gets a piece of Iannetta, but instead it's 3-1. Bauer, 5 runs over 6 2/3. He was able to kind of right the ship a little bit after giving up 5 runs in the first 2 innings. Nobody on, 2 outs. Tanaka's 3-1 pitch. Swinging this is muscle deep down the left field line by the pole. It is hooking. It is still hooking, and it is a foul ball. We've seen Iannetta do that a couple of times today.
Trying to get his hands inside the ball just a little bit more, straighten out those 2 shots. You need to have a couple of home runs this afternoon.
The count pushes full on the Mariners catcher. 2 outs, the base is clean. Tanaka had 105 pitches. The 3-2. Strike 3 called. Iannetta caught looking. Cocks his head back. Can't believe it. And that ends the 7th. Tanaka likely done for the day. He has retired. Opponents hitting .223 against Vincent. He'll face the bottom third of the order for the Yankees. And to tell you about the rest, the voice of the Mariners, here's Rick Riz.
All right, Aaron, thank you very much. Dick has pitched very well his last couple of times out after a little bit of a bump in the road. Here's Hicks to lead things off. Left-handed hitter. The pitch to him. Swing and a foul off the screen behind home plate. 0-1 the count. Hicks, Austin, and Torres for New York. The Mariners have their work cut out for them late in the ball game, down 4-0. New York a run in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the fourth, and added a run in the 7th. Here's the pitch. Just outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Vincent wearing those socks up high below his kneecap, showing the stripes at the top of the sock. Here's the set, and the right-hander's 1-1. Low and inside for ball 2, 2 balls and a strike. Sashi Iwakuma started the ball game, went 6 innings, gave up 3 runs on 6 hits. Archimedes Caminero 1 inning in the 8th and gave up a run on an RBI single by Mark Teixeira. The 2-1. Strike called. Count even on Hicks. 2-2. Tacoma last night losing at home 5-2 to Las Vegas. But the Rainier is still on top in the PCL Northern Division at 74-55. Here's the pitch. Low and inside. Ball 3. Full count 3-2. And you see all those clubs, as we were talking about earlier in the broadcast, doing so well. Everybody in first place. All the Mariner clubs in the respective minor leagues. There's some positive things going on down in the minors. Here's the pitch. Check swing. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Hicks gone looking. Nick Vincent with a cutter or a little slider on the outside corner. And there's 1 out for the Yankees here in the top half of the 8th. And here is first baseman Tyler Austin. Well, friends, the fun continues following the Mariners and Angels matchup on Sunday, September the 4th at 1:10. That's because all youngsters are invited to circle the diamond as part of Run Around the Bases, presented by Key Bank. Pick up tickets for the entire family at Mariners.com. That's on September the 4th, a Sunday afternoon. The pitch. Swing and a miss by Tyler Austin. And it's 0-1. Center fielder Leonis Martin shaded into right center. Right at the top of the 4 in Junior's retired number out there in the grass. Swinging a high fly ball toward left center field. Coming in now is Nori Aoki. Nori is there, gives way to Martin, and Martin comes all the way toward right center, from right center into left center to make the catch. Martin is the quarterback out there. Center fielder is your quarterback, and if he thinks he can get to it and make the catch, he'll call for it and go out and get it. And he did. So 2 outs for the Yankees here in the top of the 8th. That'll bring up third baseman Ronald Torreyes. Torreyes is 1 for 3. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul. Backing out of play, and it's 0-1. Torreyes not a real big guy, but good bat speed. 3 hits in last night's ball game, and he's 1 for 3 today. Torreyes now hitting .280. The set by Vincent delivers. Swing and a line drive into left field. Back of the ball, Nori Aoki. He's there and will make the catch to end the inning. In the top half of the 8th for the Yankees. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Mariners need some offense. 0-0 ERA in 10 outings. Has worked 9 innings, given up only 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned with 2 walks and 9 strikeouts. So here is Clippard. What a performance by Tanaka this afternoon. Tyler Clippard going through his warm-up tosses. And Ketel Marte will lay things off here in the bottom of the 8th. He'll be followed by Nori Aoki and then Seth Smith. Marte is 1 for 2 on the day. Singled his last time up. Clippard making his Yankees debut this year on August the 1st. That was a win against the New York Mets. Clippard ready. Here's the windup and the pitch on the way to Marte. Strike called. 0-1. He was acquired by the Yankees from the Arizona Diamondbacks on July the 31st in exchange for right-handed pitcher Vicente Campos. 40 games with the Diamondbacks in the National League. He was 2-3 with a save and a 4.30 ERA. The next pitch low and outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. So what a job by Masahiro Tanaka. 7 scoreless innings. 6 hits, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. Clippard back with the 1-1. High to Marte. Ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. We're going to be in Chicago tomorrow night on the south side. Chicago a few weeks back to play the Cubs on the north side of Wrigley Field. Time called by Marte. Backs away from home plate. There's just that great mystique and feel of old Wrigley Field. Here's the windup and the 2-1 pitch. Up and away for ball 3. 3 balls and a strike on Marte. Ballpark, beautiful. With the ivy-covered walls. What a year for the Cubs. The windup and the 3-1 as Marte shows bunt, and he takes a look at strike 2. Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. The Cubs, with more wins than anybody in baseball at 80-45, they've got a 13.5 game lead over the Cardinals in the National League Central. Here's the payoff pitch, swung on, popped up. Along the third base line, off with the mask, the catcher, Gary Sanchez, and moving up that third base line, Sanchez will make the catch right in front of third baseman Torreyes. So Marte pops it up 1 away for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 8th. And that'll bring up leadoff batter Nori Aoki. Your division leaders, Boston and Toronto, tied for the top spot in the East. Cleveland in the Central. And right now, Texas in the West in the National League. Washington in the National League East. Cubs in the Central, and the Dodgers in the West have a 2-game lead over the Giants. Here's the pitch to Aoki, and it's a strike. On the outside corner, 0-1. Smith due up next. Clippard stares in, gets the sign, the windup, and the 0-1 pitch. Low and outside for ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mariners 3-2 against the Yankees this year, winning 2 out of 3 back in April in New York. This series right now tied at 1 win apiece. Here's the windup and the 1-1 pitch. Swinging a foul line right in front of the screen, in front of the Yankees third base dugout, and it's 1-2 on Aoki. Joe Girardi standing there on the top step, leaning on that fence, little screen in front of the dugout. Here's the windup and the pitch. Bounced in the dirt. Ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Tyler Clippard, originally selected by the Yankees in the 9th round of the 2003 player draft. Here's the windup and the 2-2 to Nori. Swing and a foul off the screen behind the plate. And the count is still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Goes on to the Nationals, the A's, the Mets last year, the Diamondbacks this year, and back with the Yankees organization who originally drafted him. The windup by Clippard, and now time is called by Aoki. Backs away from home plate. Now they're both ready, and the 2-2. Swing and a ground ball down the third base line, and it skips on by the third baseman Torreyes down the left field line. Wide turn at first by Aoki. Up with the ball is Torreyes. Got a glove on it a little bit to slow it down. And it's going to be a single for Nori Aoki. He was looking to take 2, made that wide turnaround first. And Nori shot it along that third base line, and Torreyes got a little bit of leather on it to slow it down. And then he kind of pushed it away into foul territory where he finally picked it up. So Nori is on at first base with 1 away. And that's his second base hit of the afternoon. Marte pops it up to the catcher. Aoki with a base hit along the third base line. And now here is Smith. The stretch. And the pitch to Seth. Up high for ball 1. On deck is Robbie Cano. Smith backing away from home plate, leans that bat handle on his left thigh, tightens up the gloves, steps back in. Shadows of the upper deck starting to reach out toward home plate on a bright, sunshiny Wednesday. Here's the pitch, and it's low and outside for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes at count. And with 1 on and 1 away and Clippard behind in the count, manager Joe Girardi has some activity down in his bullpen. The right-hander warming up. Here's the stretch. And the pitch to Smith. Swing and a miss. And a fastball, and the count goes to 2-1. And that's the big guy, Dellin Betances, warming up for New York. Aoki will lead at first, held on there by Austin. Clippard taking a lot of time, and the 2-1 pitch, a swing and a miss by Smith. As the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mariners at home, 36-21. 500 on the road, 31-31. And hopefully start to change that around beginning tomorrow night in Chicago. Here's the stretch and the 2-2 pitch to Smith. It is strike 3 called. And Smith didn't like it, and there's 2 outs for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Right on the inside corner at the knees, according to home plate umpire Doug Ennings. So 1 on and 2 away, and here is Robbie Cano. He almost got that historic double he was looking for. It would have been his 30th double, but he was thrown out at second base trying to stretch a single into a double in the bottom of the first inning. And an outstanding throw by Aaron Judge in right center. This also was bounced into a double play and flied out to Gardner in left field. The pitch way up high for ball one. Robbie, he'll get it here in the very near future. 30 doubles. That'll be 12 consecutive years with 30 more doubles. Only 4 players will have done that when Robbie gets there. Musial, Speaker, and Hannes Wagner. Here's the stretch and the 1-0 pitch. Here she comes. And it's a strike call, 1-1. And when Robbie gets that 30th double, he'll become the first guy to do it in his first 12 years in the big leagues. But his swing is geared toward driving the ball into the gap in left field. If you do that, you're going to get your share of doubles. And Cano has year after year after year. 12 years to be exact. Time is called. Robbie backs away from home plate. Mike Zunino is on deck. You got to wonder what's going on with Nelly Cruz.
Pretty interesting to see him on deck with Cruz normally due up.
And Mike Zunino has moved into the on deck circle. Hopefully Cruz is all right. It's one guy you don't pinch hit for. 1 on, 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th inning, 4-0 Yankees. Here's the set by Clifford. He delivers to Cano, swinging a ground ball, base hit through the right side. Aoki to second. He'll pull up there. Up with the ball is Judge. Kid out there in right field has a good arm. Robbie Cano with his second base hit of the afternoon. Mariners with 2 base runners with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Trail the Yankees 4-0. And here is Mike Zunino out to bat for Nelson Cruz. And hopefully Cruz is all right. And time is called. Joe Girardi coming out of the dugout. He's got Betances ready to go down to the bullpen. And he's going to go down to the bullpen right now. So 2 on, 2 away. And don't you go away. We're going to be right back after this word from Washington Federal, serving straight up mortgages since 1917.
Now, post game, exactly what is going on with Nelson. So it is Betances making his 60th appearance of the season. He leads all major league relievers in strikeouts. He is striking out 45% of all batters that he has faced. So here is Zunino to face Betances, an all-star for the 3rd straight season with 2 on and 2 out.
And he doesn't walk anybody, just the 18 walks. So here's Mike Zunino to pinch hit. Pitch on the way to Mike, and it's high and inside for ball 1. So Nelson Cruz out with an injury. What it is, we're not going to speculate, but we'll find out more after the ball game. Zunino up there, batting .273. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's a strike call. The count is even on Mike at 1 ball and 1 strike. 9 home runs, 21 RBI since coming up from AAA Tacoma. Mike Zunino batting for Nelson Cruz. The Mariners have Aoki on at second and Robbie Cano on at first base with 2 outs. The stretch and the pitch. Swing and a miss. And a changeup at 84. And the count is now 1-2 on Zunino. Adam Lind due up next. Runners get their leads. Betances now steps back off the rubber. Zunino quickly out of the box, now back in. 2 on, 2 away. 4-0 Yankees. And now time is called, and the catcher Sanchez out to the mound. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Alaska Airlines Mariners Radio Network.
All right, Mariners fans, M's wrapping up their big homestand, and it is off to Chicago for a big 4-gamer before it all gets going against Texas. What kind of moves do they need to make before this trip in order to give them the best chance for success? We'll discuss tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. It's Brock and Salk, 710 ESPN, KIRO AM Seattle.
1-2 the count on Mike Zunino. Young catcher Gary Sanchez went out to the mound, had a talk with Dylan Betances. Now he's back behind the plate. Runners their leads at first and second, and the 1-2 pitch. Curveball, strike 3 called. Betances striking out Zunino, the pinch hitter, batting for Nelson Cruz, and the inning is over. No runs for the Mariners, 2 hits, and 8 walks and 20 strikeouts. Tony Zych, his fastball 96, 97, 98. So Tony back with the club. A lot of power arms coming in out of the pen for the Mariners. Top of the 9th, and leadoff batter Brett Gardner, their left fielder, will lead things off. He's 1 for 3, singled and scored the Yankees' 4th run of the game in the 7th inning. Here's the set by Zych, and he delivers. Fastball low and outside, 95 miles an hour, ball 1. Gardner, Gregorius, and then Sanchez. Great crowd this afternoon, 41,536. Here's the stretch and the pitch. That fastball's outside. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Fastball at 95 again. Gardner has grounded out twice. Sacrifice fly, run batted in, and a single and a run scored. The pitch. Low, ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes to count. Zych takes that glove, tucks it underneath his chin as he looks in to get the sign. Here's the 3-0, and it's low and outside with a fastball, ball 4. So Brett Gardner with a leadoff walk here in the 9th inning, top of the 9th, and here is Didi Gregorius. Gregorius 0 for 3. Has grounded out twice, sacrifice bunt, and has flied out to Aoki in left field. Close to third base is Sean O'Malley. The stretch and the pitch. Strike called, 0-1. If you just tuned in, Mike Zunino in the bottom of the 8th inning went out to pinch hit for Nelson Cruz. Nelson out with an injury. What it is specifically, we are not sure. And when we find out, we will pass it along. But he is so valuable to this ball club, hitting the middle of the order. Here's a soft toss over to first base to get Gardner back to the bag. 1 on, nobody out for the Yankees. They lead it 4-0 here in the top half of the 9th. Zych ready. The stretch and the 0-1 pitch. Instead, a move to first base, and Gardner dives back to the bag. Tony Zych, Z-Y-C-H. Here's the set, and the 0-1 pitch is low and outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tony, originally drafted by the Chicago Cubs in the 4th round of the 2011 Major League Draft out of Louisville. Grew up in Moni, Illinois, about 45 miles south of Chicago. The stretch and the pitch, swinging a pop-up out of play on the third base side, and the count is 1-2. We were just handed a note that U.S. Cellular Field on the south side, home of the White Sox, will be changing their name to Guaranteed Rate Field. Is that right?
It screams baseball, Rick.
Wow.
But yes, that does appear to be right. Which, what slang nickname will that have? Now, they had the Cell before.
GR Field, Guaranteed Rate Field. First time I've ever seen that happen during the year. Here's the stretch and another move to first base by Zych to get Gardner back to the bag.
It apparently will become official on November 1st as part of a new, this seems like a relatively short term, 13-year contract. It'll be a guaranteed rate deal. So this is not going anywhere.
Wonder if they got a guaranteed rate. Here's a swing and a foul, backing out of play by Gregorius, and the count is still 1-2.
I see what you did there. I got it. Yeah, I like it. It's a mortgage company, Rico.
So a new name for the home of the Chicago White Sox. Yeah, I grew up on the south side. We're going there. People still call it Comiskey Park. Here's the stretch. And the 1-2 swing and a line drive foul into the crowd down the right field line. And the count is still 1-2 on the Yankees shortstop. think this guy had some big shoes to fill when Jeter retired. Gregorius taking over there at short. Jeter will be going to the Hall of Fame in 3 years. Here's a toss over to first base, and Gardner diving back to the bag. 4-0 New York, each side with 8 hits. Masahiro Tanaka mighty tough against the Mariners this afternoon. Sabathia was very tough last night. Yankees won Game 2 of the series last night 5-1. Now the stretch and the 1-2, swinging a foul out of play in the third base side by Gregorius. And the count stays at a ball and 2 strikes. Young catcher Gary Sanchez is due up next. Zick ready. And the 1-2 pitch, swinging a ground ball, pulled foul along the first base line. Still 1-2.
It is strange going to Chicago twice in 1 year, isn't it, Rick?
I like it.
Absolutely.
It does, though, because of interleague play. Only one visit to many of the American League teams. Runner goes, pitch on the way, swinging a shot foul down the right field side by Gregorius. And it's still 1-2. Gardner was off to the races, and he'll turn around and head on back to first base. But 2 visits this year because of interleague play. Mariners playing the Cubs a while back. Lost a couple of tough games there. Joe Madden was out of players. He was going to recruit some fans behind the dugout if that game kept going. But John Lester went up there to pinch hit and lay down a squeeze bunt, and he did. Cubs won the game, the stretch, and the 1-2, and it's low and inside as Gregorius dances away from ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Didi Gregorius, left-handed hitter.
And Rick, that series we're talking about at Wrigley, that was the last series loss for the Mariners.
Right at the end of July. The stretch and the 2-2 pitch, swing and a fly ball down the left field line, slicing away from Aoki. This one is going to be a fair ball, and it lands into the crowd down the left field line. That'll be a ground rule double for Gregorius. Around to third goes Brett Gardner, and the Yankees have runners on at second and third with nobody out here in the top of the 9th inning, and they lead it 4-0. Time again is called. Pitching coach Mel Stottlemyre Jr. out to the mound. Have a talk with Tony Zick. Due up is Gary Sanchez.
Sure was nice hearing your conversation with Mel on the pregame show. And what a good guy to have around. Hearing him talk about what he saw from Taiwan last night really sounds like, for the most part, they were pleased with what Taiwan brought in his return to the Mariners. We'll be seeing him on this upcoming road trip.
Yeah, he is so valuable down the stretch, along with James Paxton. Hopefully the Mariners will see Mr. Paxton. They haven't announced tomorrow's starter, but they need Taiwan Walker and James Paxton. So once again, Scott Service says we are going to walk Sanchez, and that first pitch was supposed to be farther outside. He almost came back out over the plate, and there's ball 1. Gary Sanchez intentionally walked in the 7th after hitting a home run in the first and a double down the left field line in the 5th. He's popped up to third in the 3rd inning. There's ball 2, and there is ball 3. So Sanchez will get his 2nd intentional walk. And this young man very quickly getting a lot of respect from other major league clubs. And there is ball 4. So Sanchez draws the walk, and now the Yankees have the bases loaded with nobody out. Tony Zick in a heap of trouble. And he'll take a look at designated hitter Mark Teixeira. Teixeira is 1 for 3 today. Had an RBI single to left field in the 7th inning. Tony taking some time, and now time is called as the catcher Chris Iannetta heads out to the mound to have a talk with Zick. Iannetta back behind the plate. Here we go. Teixeira steps in. Nobody out. 3 runners aboard. Gardner, Gregorius, and Sanchez. The stretch and the pitch. Check swing. Does he go? It's a foul tip. So he did. It's a strike. 0-1. And the next offer, breaking ball, is low and inside for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Brett Gardner led off this inning with a walk. Gregorius doubled. A long at bat, and then Gary Sanchez walked. Here's the pitch, and it's low and inside for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Mark Teixeira will call it quits after a long, productive career at the end of this season. The set, and the next offer on the way. Swinging a foul off the foot of Teixeira. Kicks back along the third base line. Picked up by the base runner there, Brett Gardner. Tosses it to the Yankee bat boy, who tosses it into the crowd to a fan. Yankees lead it 4-0. Tony ready, the stretch. And the 2-2 pitch is strike 3 called. Got him with a breaking ball. Mark Teixeira strikes out, and that is a mighty big first out with the bases loaded. And here is Starlin Castro. 1 out, bases loaded. Castro is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. He has popped up to Robbie Cano at second. And he has walked. Here's the stretch and the pitch. Strike called at the knees, 0-1. We're seeing some soft stuff from Tony Zick here in the top of the 9th inning, not just the fastball. Here's the stretch. And the pitch to Castro way outside. Good reach by catcher Chris Iannetta to bring that one back in. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Nice crowd this afternoon here at Safeco Field. 41,536 to wind down the series. And the homestand, the stretch, and the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a fly ball into shallow left field. Norioki coming in. He is there, will make the catch. Tagging at third is Gardner coming home. The throw to the plate, way offline over the head of the catcher. Iannetta backing up on the play as Tony Zick. Gardner tags and scores on a sacrifice fly by Starlin Castro, and the Yankees now lead it 5-0. 2 outs here in the top of the 9th, and Norioki just kind of airmailed that throw. Nowhere near the catcher Chris Iannetta. Here comes Scott Service out of the dugout. 1 run in, 5-0 Yankees. They now have runners on at second and third with 2 outs. And that is it for Zick, and Service will go to his bullpen.
Aim and take home an M's Dogwish. Tickets and info at mariners.com/bark.
Seattle Mariners baseball
on 710 ESPN Seattle.
On the road traveling and want to watch your Mariners? Subscribe to MLB.TV Premium for live or on-demand baseball on over 400 devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and a whole lot more. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit Mariners.com for details. A sacrifice fly off the bat of Starlin Castro out to Oki in left field. That brings in the 5th Yankees run of the game. And it brings out Wade LeBlanc. LeBlanc, who worked 2 innings, 1 hit, 1 run. It was unearned yesterday. Will work here with 2 outs and 2 on in the 9th inning.
And he will face Aaron Judge. 0 for 3 on the day. The Yankees have runners on at second and third. Gregorius at third. Sanchez on at second. Here's the pitch and a swing and a miss. 0-1. Yankees keep adding on, and now they've got a big 5-0 lead here in the top half of the 9th inning. The set by LeBlanc, and the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. And it's 0-2. Two on, 2 outs, and a big run in for New York. Here's the set by LeBlanc, and the 0-2 on the way. Breaking ball in the dirt. 1-2. We did a nice job in that starting rotation when the Mariners needed some help. Jerry Dipoto found him in AAA Buffalo in the Blue Jays organization for a player to be named later. Did a good job. Here's the set. And the 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. He strikes out Judge looking. And that will finally retire the side. The Yankees add another run. 1 run on one.com. First baseman Adam Lind leading off the bottom of the 9th inning. 5-0 Yankees. Dellin Betances delivers. Fastball at 97 miles an hour up high for ball 1. Betances looking for a 4-out save. He got the final out in the 8th inning. Next pitch. Check swing. Gets a strike, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Lynn 1 for 3 today. Single to right field back in the 2nd. Here's the next pitch, and it's a strike on the outside corner at 1-2. That's when the Mariners had their best opportunity to get to Masahiro Tanaka. The Mariners had runners on at 2nd and 3rd, 1 out, and they could not score. The 1-2 pitch. Check swing. Does he go? He does for strike 3. Lynn strikes out, and there's 1 away for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 9th inning. I want to say hello to a good friend, Rusty Gerhardt, big Mariners fan, listening to the broadcast this afternoon. Rusty, hope you're doing well. Here's center fielder Leonis Martin. He has 2 hits this afternoon, a couple of singles and a stolen base, and has flied out to Gardner in left field. Betances ready, kicks and he delivers, and it's low and outside for ball 1. He is one big kid, Dellin Betances. Standing on the mound, it's like he's pushing that thing lower. The stretch. And the next offer up high with a fastball. Ball 2, 2 balls, and no strikes to count. Mariners 15-7 for the month of August. Here's the stretch and the 2-0 pitch. Inside with a slider for ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes to count. Tanaka started, went 7 scoreless innings. Tyler Clippard went just 2/3 of an inning when Betances came on in the 8th. Here is the set and the 3-0 pitch. It's up and in for ball 4. So Martin with a 1-out walk on 4 straight pitches here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Hope you'll join us tomorrow from, well, right now, U.S. Cellular Field, but during the offseason, the home of the Chicago White Sox will be known as Guaranteed Rate Field. Name change coming up in November on the south side. 1 on and 1 away, and here is third baseman Sean O'Malley. The pitch. Strike called, 0-1. Kyle Seager not in the lineup today with a sore foot. Foul ball off his foot in last night's ball game. Sean looking for his first hit. The set by Betances. And the 0-1 pitch, swing and a foul, backing out of play off to our left. And a fan makes a nice catch in the 200 level. Terrace Club. Give that fan a contract. 0-2 on O'Malley. The shadows of the upper deck almost right behind the home plate umpire Doug Eddings. Here's the pitch, low and outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mariners starting play today, 2 back in the wild card race. Behind Baltimore. Here's the pitch, and strike 3 called on O'Malley. Sean is caught looking, so a couple of strikeouts for Betances here in the bottom of the 9th inning. He had a strikeout in the 8th, 3 strikeouts for Betances. And the batter is going to be catcher Chris Iannetta. Orioles and Nationals just getting ready for their game tonight in Washington. Boston getting ready to take on the Rays in Tampa Bay. The runner goes, pitch on the way, and it's in on Iannetta for ball one. Down to second goes Martin. No steal, indifference. 1-0 the count on Chris. 5-0 Yankees. New York 1 out away from a series win. Here's the stretch and the pitch. Way up and in, and Iannetta almost walked into it. Almost got hit by that pitch. Ball two. 2 balls and no strikes. Chris 0 for 3 on the day. Kansas City getting ready to take on the Marlins in Miami. Rangers getting ready to take on the Reds in Cincinnati. Martin on at second with 2 outs. Mariners are down to their final out. Here's the set by Betances and the 2-0 in there for a strike. Fastball at 98. 2-1 the count. Later on tonight, Blue Jays at home against the Angels. Detroit in Minnesota. Day baseball here in Seattle. Here's the pitch on the way. Swing and a fly ball out of play down the right field side. As the count evens on Chris Iannetta, 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're going to be in Chicago tomorrow.
That'll be fun to get back to Chi-Town. It will not be easy for the Royals facing Jose Fernandez tonight. Kansas City winners of 9 in a row, and they are really starting to sneak up on some folks in the wild card race.
Here come the Royals. Here's the pitch on the way. Swinging a fly ball into right field. Right there is Aaron Judge waiting for it, and he makes the catch, and the ball game is over. The Yankees shutting out the Mariners this afternoon by a score of 5-0. They win the series. And for the Mariners, their first series loss in the month of August. So the Yankees take game 3, a final score of 5-0. Masahiro Tanaka with his 11th win of the year. He's now 5-0 in his career against the Mariners in 5 starts. Again, the final, Yankees 5 and the Mariners nothing. We'll be back with the totals and the roundtable after this timeout.
When you buy a certified pre-owned BMW from BMW Northwestern 5,